Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome to my humble shop. Please do come in. Have a look around. Feel free to touch anything you like, just make sure to read the warning labels first. I am Twin Minds, I am your humble proprietor, here to answer any questions you may have. Feel free to ask at any time. We are back at Strange Antiquities. Let us do it. Meow. We have a shop cat as well. Pet the kitty. So last time, we did some stuff. But we don't really have any creeping dread yet. We're just getting our bearings, helping our customers, looking for trinkets, identifying some things. There has not been any significant signs of ne'er-do-welling. But I'm sure it's to come. Because every night we have a slowly growing story of two people finding something they probably should not have found, and opening boxes that they should not have opened. So I'm sure opening of said box will come back to bite us soon enough here. We have many dangly trinkets over here, along with some ominous bloody trinkets over here. We have some not so dangly and not so bloody trinkets over here. Couple maps, one to the castle and one to Undermere itself. We do have a clue that was left to us last night that we still have to follow up on. And then we have some various other clues and bits and bobs that we have yet to identify what they are for just yet. But I'm sure we will figure it out eventually. We also have a locked gate over here with even more dangly bits that I have not found a key for just yet. So, I'm sure we'll get there. So first off, let's see where this leads us. So this is most likely to Gleaston Castle. Up the stairs, left, then left again. I can only assume they mean... I don't know. I was gonna say I can only assume they mean the master grand entrance stairs. However, going up the stairs and left, there is no left going up the stairs. Even if you were to extend that to go up the stairs and end the hallway, there is no left. So maybe it means this stairway, which is right here. I mean, we have several stairs. We have lots of turret stairs, but these are the only two stairs that are kind of like straight and standard. And these do look like a straight and standard stair. So up the stairs, left and left again. So if we go from here, left and left again. Second on the right is where I spend each night. So second on the right would follow this hallway, 1 and 2. Aha! It was those stairs. Wonderful. Okay. The bedroom looks like it hasn't been used for some time. A thin layer of dust coats the furnishings and cobwebs decorate every corner. Pulling back the thin curtains lets some light in, but more importantly, they reveal a macabre item that has been hiding on the windowsill all this time. Okay. Bingies! So, this is probably, I think it was just the witch's fingers or something like that. It mentioned severed fingers. So this is probably that one. Do we have an obvious one? Was it just witch's fingers? Yeah. Witch's fingers are said to be the severed digits of the witch of Undermere. They're capable of inflicting intense pain, but the goal is supposedly purification of the body. A most unpleasant experience, but a last resort that has cured some and finished off others. So this would be tentative witchy fingers. And now that I see things that might cure people, I am reminded that we do have a growing dread that I forgot about, and that growing dread is a man who was found basically unconscious with black eyes. But that is the extent of it so far. But it does appear to be spreading. They haven't really mentioned how many, but they have mentioned that it may be spreading. So hopefully this comes in handy to painfully cure whoever is ill. Pet kitty, ring the bell. Helena Appleton. I can never get any peace in my house. When am I to find time to do my writing? I've tried beeswax, but that makes my ears sore, and besides, I can still hear the shouting and banging at all hours. I heard you might be able to help me. I don't think you should be resorting to magic to go to deal with your hearing problem. I think you may need to address the shouting and banging at all hours. That feels like the more sane approach, but you know. Anvil of Deafening, perhaps? There you go. We happen to have tentatively identified that one last time. Gray's Grace, worn as a pendant to dispel melancholy. They share the design of a shadow catcher. Okay. And this one can just get question mark removed. Lovely. Do I have any appropriate symbols or change of tag I'd like? This looks kind of anvil-like. Do we have anything else? And no, I'm definitely not going by meaning of symbols when I pick symbols. I'm going by symbols that look roughly appropriate. Yeah, let's go with the one that looks kind of anvil-like. Seems appropriate. Okie dokie. And I don't think I have one related to the clue that we just got. Said it was that it looked like a dream catcher. This is the only one I've got that even looks kind of sort of close to a dream catcher, and that one's already been identified. I mean, this one kind of sort of dream catcher in metallic form. Dream catcher typically being a woven round of sticks or rawhide with a spider-like web in the middle, usually with gems and bits and bobs woven into the web in the middle. Pet the kitty, ring the bell. Barton Potter. You must be the thaumaturge's apprentice. I bet he's a hard man to work under. He's helped me out more than once in the past, though. And speaking of the past, my eye has been aching again lately. That can't be a good sign. I'd be willing to make a fair trade for an Elva stone if you have one. Elva stone, you say? Doesn't sound familiar. I do have an eye, if that's helpful at all. Let's see what we have for an Elva stone. Elva stones can be used to relieve the discomfort caused by otherwise incurable ailments, such as Brexis or burning blood. The planetary metal used in these items is associated with the Selenic discipline, a connection that is also reflected in their design. So, we need to look into planetary metals and the Selenic discipline to learn more about what that design should look like. Burning blood, Elva stone, Brexis, Elva stone, fair enough. Okay, planetary metals, you say. Copper, gold, iron, lead, quicksilver, silver, or tin. So not platinum, magnesium, potassium, zinc. Is antimony a metal? I think it is, because these all look like they're metals. Arsenic, bismuth. I think they're all metals, maybe. So, but the planetary metals, what I would also call typically, I was going to say precious metals, but platinum is usually precious as well. Okay, so copper, gold, iron, lead, quicksilver, silver, tin, which is a broad swath of possible metals to use. And then Selenic discipline is of the moon. Okay, so we're looking for something moon-themed, made of one of these materials. Possibly silver, because that is also of the moon. However, see, this is my crescent section, not counting the owl that we've already identified. Do I have anything else of the moon before I go there? I don't believe so. I think I've segregated them all to the moon corner. So, yeah, bronze, pink gemstone, stone, warm, cool, and smooth. No sense and smells, no inner perception. Okay. Gold and stone. Warm, cool, engraved. No smells. Nothing to remark. Okay. Silver, the moon, silver, okay, that's good. Stone. Cool and smooth, rough and pitted. No smells. Has an ethereal quality to it. Doesn't. I mean, it does something, but that doesn't really lean towards the like pain relieving element that I was looking for. Nothing to remark. Nothing to remark. Cool. Gold and gems. And we also have this one that does have a moon symbol on it. Nothing to remark feeling wise. I can only guess that maybe we're not feeling anything because we don't have any sort of long-term ailment that it could possibly help with. So maybe the ethereal is the clue we're looking for. Do we have anything else moon-esque? Bats of the night. Nothing. Iron is a planetary metal. Ah. Every sound has become both louder and clearer. Label that one so I don't have to peek at that idea again. Liar. I remember complaining about this. I do not need to complain about it further right now, but I have it clearly marked as this is a lying device. Okay. So let's give him this one and see if this is our Elva stone. It is indeed. Design features crescent moons, a reflection of the selenic, and the metal is silver, also associated with the moon. So we got, I mean, that part of the logic worked out. I was just expecting something to have like a, I don't know, you feel better when holding this thing or whatever, kind of leaning towards the supposed effect of the item. But that's fine. I like the design of it though. The kind of rough-hewn stone with the peg crescent holding this direction and the peg crescent attached this direction with a dangly holdy thing here. It's kind of a neat design. Kind of reminiscent of those concentric rings that spin at different angles that I don't remember the name of. Okay, Elva stone. Oh, he just gave me a thing. Alright, thanks. Oh yeah, he did say he would be willing to make a fair trade. Fair. Elva stone. Let's give you a moon shape because you're very moon oriented. Let's give you a white again with the moon oriented. Oh, nice rounded, curvy doodad. Good. Perfect. And then, you, whatever you are. Gold, blue gems, and a silver ring. Warm to the touch for the metals and cool for the gems. No smells and sounds, and no feelings attached to it. Okay? You can go over here. Sure, why not? These two need something small to fight over in the middle. Like, something like that. But not that, because that's my moon stuff. Maybe we'll give them a tree for their little forest. Yeah, there we go. They can have a little tree to rub their antlers on. Hello, kitty. Just keeping that guy hidden. I could put the fingers with him. Yeah, let's put the fingers with him. Yeah, now you're not alone in your fingerness. All right. We met someone new. Oh, I meant to read these off at some point. Maybe we'll wait until the last two are revealed before we read off and like review all of our previous named customers. Pet kitty. Pet kitty. He ran away from him. Ring the bell. Ah, Verona, we were just talking about you. I've been doing some reading. Let's see what you make of this. Oh, okay. Umbra. These items cause mental fog, a withering of intellect and thought. They are slow to work, requiring several hours to have any effect. Through prolonged use, they can cause the whites of the eyes to turn black and the subject to become deeply disoriented. They produce a noctic field. That does indeed sound kind of like the ailment that we were talking about. People getting nearly catatonic with black eyes. That fisherman they found yesterday had been up at Wyatt Beck, so I'm going to see if I can find anything out there. Here I go again, sticking my nose into trouble because I don't seem to be able to listen to that part of me that says, go put the kettle on and get something else to deal with for a change. Sorry, that did not come out right. Let someone else deal with it for a change. There we go. You go have fun, ma'am. It's bloody-minded arrogance to follow that up with follow that thought up with, but there isn't anyone else. But here we are, and here I am. They'll do it all wrong anyway. You go have fun, ma'am. Try to put the tea on anyway. It can be calming. Pet kitty. Ring the bell. Francis Mason. I've been wearing a pendant that I found in the library, and it does something to me. It gives me an appetite for reading that I cannot control. I was lost in the library for 3 days without eating or sleeping before I managed to take the pendant off and escape. Congrats? It is rather pretty, though. Someone told me I needed a acoustic purifier, and this is the place to get one. Indeed! I happen to have your classy purifier on hand and ready to go. There you go. That, wrong button. Use that one there. There's your classy purifier. Enjoy your new classy. Yep, okay. Valant. The holes in the Valant are of roughly equal size and spacing. They're used by the adventurers to help them find their way. A curious pulse can be felt where the power concentrates. Feels like I should have one of those things for my own exploration. Because currently the only exploration I'm allowed to do really is by random wandering and guessing or following clues that I'm given. Gila, hi. Gila, hi. Gila, hi. Kitty. 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 So maybe at some point we get one of those things and we can then, I don't know, wave it over the map and see if it vibrates whenever I'm supposed to find something somewhere. Gila. 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 Yeah, more you too. Chill. Chill, cat. Chill. 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 Don't you burr at me. Chill. No, burr. Chill. No, chill. He's not chilling. Alright. Pet the kitty. Petting my other kitty down here. Ring the bell. Ah! We have one of our 2 remaining people that just showed up. Ah, it's Simone. I've been working on something you might find interesting. Did you know that nobody knows who built the strange Antiquities? It's very old, perhaps the oldest building in Undermere, according to some accounts. Even Eli doesn't know all of its secrets. I've been decoding a journal that he found. It's slow work, but I've made a bit of a breakthrough recently. Have you discovered the plinths below the counter? Plinths below the counter? Yes, I have. I've learned that they can be used to access the shop's hidden depths. And this journal holds some of the keys. Here's something I discovered late last night. See what you make of it. So Simone, I believe, is the kind of happy librarian lady from the first game, I think. Okay. Alcove key, horned shackle, evocant, and then a moon something. The writing is dense and spidery, so it's not always easy to decipher. Do I have a horned shackle? Now I know we've identified the evocant. Horned shackle. We do supposedly have the horned shackle. Oh yeah, that's right. The horned shackle. The goat of rubbing. Okay. Okay. So goat of rubbing. Oh no, goat of rubbing first, and then evocant. Which one were you again? Which one were you again? Ah, yes, the evil cunt, yes. Evil cunt in the middle. And then something moon related. Moon something. Now, is it actually something labeled moon something? Or is it just moon themed or moon related, like Moonstone Guardian is named? Banishment of Hobsphere and Noctic Sight tend to take the form of a comforting guardian. Well, that's vague. Very vague. Hobsphere, Moonstone Guardian, Noctic Sight, Moonstone Guardian. Tend to take the form of a comforting guardian. Moon, perhaps? Yeah. Too much to hope that the deer would be facing the opposite direction of the goat of rubbing. No, we've already got that one's already labeled. I'm sorry, what? But that worked. Why did that work? This was the wrong one. This one's already identified as something else. I'm sorry, what? Wait, hang on. We gotta do that again. Goat of rubbing. Evil cunt. Owl. But why did that work? The owl literally has already been identified as something other than... Oh. Moon something. Right. So it wasn't the one labeled as moon something, it was something moon related, which this was the first moon related item we've identified. So that makes sense. Now we have a bunch of cups. We have a cup made of wood with rough to the touch, engravings, has a sharp aroma, feels like nothing. We have this one that is also a wooden oak cup specifically with what appears to be an oak leaf, I think, in gold paint. Rough and engraved. Another sharp aroma with no feelings. This one, wood, the purple gems, rough, uneven texture on the gems rather than smooth. Strong odor, sharp but not entirely unpleasant, and no feelings. And then we have more symbols. So let's grab these. These can go down here. This one we've already identified down here. We'll label those in a second. We gotta. So this, if I didn't have this, or if I had this earlier, I would have been confused, because this was the label that was the seed of shame, which is a seed of stone wrapped in a wooden spiral, and this happens to also be a seed of stone wrapped in a wooden spiral. That would have been very misleading. And we happen to have a little cubby free for my new mugs. Okay, lovely. I don't see anything else here. Wunderbar. Wunderbar. Okay, let's see if we can figure out where these guys go. I don't think we have all of them though. Yeah, we're still missing. We're missing 3 total, and we only just got 2. So that doesn't perfectly help. But let's see. So we need whatever comes after the square, or in between the square and the Z. Square and the Z is right here, which is the horn, which we don't have. Fine, be that way. We also need what goes between the I think that's the Venus symbol, the female symbol, and the sideways moony crescent thing, which is this one that goes there. I'm assuming this one goes here then, between the Z and the D. Z and the D, yeah, okay. Good. So we just need to find one more that goes here, and then we'll have whatever that puzzle is. Hello, Scooby. Oh, hi, welcome. Okay, so we just got 3 new mugs. They all have sharp aromas to them. Sure, why not? We also got a shiny new spirally doodad. No, spirally doodad can go over here. And the owl doesn't really fit here with the jar, but that's fine for now. Still have more room for dangly bits. Might even need to put the plant on the counter at some point to make room. This one looks like the bottom of a rocket. Yes, it does. It just needs a top, and that can be launched. It's very pretty though. It's got the nice little pretty purple inlaid gems. Okay, so this is solved. So this can go into our archive of solvedness. Yep, we still have no more wandering clues. Now, the lady just gave us a hint. Sorry, the previous lady gave us the hint of Ambra, which has the strong Noctic field. However, we do have the information on fields, but we don't have any detector for the fields, so I don't know how to detect the fields just yet. It does look constellation-ish. I'm not familiar with my constellations, so I'll take your word on the Cassiopeia if that is indeed what it is. This one, it is confirmed to be a constellation, which I believe was Aries, because it was actually labeled in the book and showed Aries and had a depiction of what the constellation looked like, so this one was easy to identify. Maybe at some point we'll get an identifier that says, hey, this thing has a constellation on it. Looks like that. That'd be kind of neat. Now, one thing we have not done yet, to get myself studied, is we have not actually read all of the ones in the book that we haven't identified yet. So we could do that if we want to read through them. And maybe we'll be able to identify a few things. The depict of Cassiopeia. Let me see. Oh, that does indeed look Cassiopeia-ish. Roughly that angle. Neat. Let's see if I can piece together the angle. Yeah. Yeah, very Cassiopeia. Good for you for being able to spot that at a glance. I am awful at my constellations. For being a space nerd, I'm terrible at constellations. What brand of knowledge led you to be able to recognize that almost immediately? Just out of curiosity. Like, was there some study you did? Is it an astrology knowledge from your past? Is it related to your astral signs? Where'd you get that little bit of info from? A play you were in back in grade school. Nice. See, I knew there was something there. Alright. Pet the kitty. Ring the bell. Hello, Jim. How are you? After years of working in Thunder and Mill, I'm afraid I'm quite deaf now. Ah, I have just the thing for you. I've tried St. John's Poppy, but I'm looking for a more permanent solution. I would love to be able to hear my niece's laughter. I got just the thing for you. It was the bat. Now, I don't remember what it's called, but maybe this will tell me. Hearing charm. Fair. This pendant is in the shape of a bat, an animal known for its hearing. Closer inspection confirms that it enhances the hearing ability. Great. Perfect. Veiled Fen. A veiled fen is brightly colored in the light, but it clouds over after a short period in total darkness. They can be used to command attention from individuals or small groups of people. Public speakers sometimes use them as a substitute for charisma. Brightly colored in light, but clouds over after a short period in total darkness. Interesting. I don't have total darkness, but I do have a candle to wave around. This is the one that turns the candle blue. Nothing. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so I was going to label that as the hearing charm. Perfect. Anything sound or hearing related? Not really. Not really. No, not really any symbols that feel appropriate to me. I have an eyeball. I don't have an earball, though. No earballs. Alright. That's fine. Squeaky bat. So my naming scheme did come back to bite me ever so slightly with the owl, because I have forgotten which one the owl was. Because I labeled it Sailor Moon. But I have forgotten which one it actually is. Selenic Totem, maybe? Yeah, it was a Selenic Totem. Maybe I should label that more appropriately. Slightly more appropriate. There we go. Okay, so now that we've ended the day, and under my face, we still have a full sanity meter for wandering. Let's go wandering a little bit and just see what we can find, because we still have plenty of castle to explore. So, previously we have explored the kitchen rooms, the courtyard rooms, conservatory, the ballrooms, and the adjacents. We've done... I think we've done all of these. I don't recall if we've done all of these, so let's just do them. Nothing. Nothing. I may have already done these, but it's fine. I don't remember, and now I can just mark them off as having done them. Okay, and then I don't remember if we did this one. Nothing. I also don't really remember if we did these ones. Nothing. And nothing. Okay. So that leaves this entire section of the lower floor. Actually, this entire section of the lower floor done. The only thing we haven't done is these 4 rooms. So let's do them. To the vaults, you say? Ooh. You. Must have taken a wrong turn. Nope. Nothing. Nothing. Pop, pop. Okay, so we have one more failure to do, so let's do the vaults. Ah. The vaults are blocked by a large iron door. It has no handle or keyhole, and it does not give in the slightest when I push against it. I realize that it has been thomically sealed, but that's not much help. It's not clear what I need to open it. Not clear what I need to open it. Yeah, that's fair. Let's leave it. We'll figure out if we have a key of opening at some point in the future. So that's as much exploration as I can do today without causing myself undue brain trauma. But that's the entire ground floor searched. Which is good. Because we can't check the towers. We can't check outside, so yes. Searched. Done. Howdy, Iron Ninja. I can't use the Force. I don't know which Force to use. Oh, right. I was gonna... Yeah, okay. So let us review, since this is the first night we've had for this stream, so we'll just review the whole chain of events up until now. 'Tis a foggy, icy night. The black mare thundered through the icy rain, shining wet in the silver moonlight. Her cloaked rider was exhausted, cold, and soaked to the bone. He knew he would not survive the night if he did not reach Backbarrow. Backbarrow, yes. And previously, I was very confused with the her and the he. I totally misinterpreted that last round. Her cloaked rider, ... her being the horse. For some reason, I interpreted this as there being 2 people on the horse. I'm dumb. But, yes, he is not surviving the night if he does not reach Backbarrow in time. A deep pain radiated down the side of the rider's head, where he had sliced himself with a diverging hook, and his thoughts were scattered and torn. He could not see out of his left eye. 2 days earlier, prior to him almost dying, the rider and his fellow adventurer were deep underground, exploring the tunnels below Kirkhead Tower, when they made the discovery. Their elation at their find would soon turn to horror. At the end of a long passageway, after days spent clearing away dangerous rockfalls, the duo came upon a chamber. In it, they found a small tomb, too small to contain human remains. Inside was the reason they had toiled so hard, a small black casket. A very valuable small black casket. They knew enough not to open it, but perhaps too little to fully understand the danger it posed. For new information tonight, at camp that night, one of the pair had woken with pain in his left eye. He was alert to the threat at once, recognizing 2 things at the same time. 1, a part of his mind was not his own, and 2, the casket wanted to be opened. Dun dun dun. Swoosh. 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 Ooh, these are tight curves. It's really hard to get the mouse going where I want it to go. There we go. Pointy lady. The maiden in the tower points the way. I am buried among the trees. Okay. Great. See, Iron Ninja, I've been on the internet too long to fall for that. Buried in trees, tower lady points the way. Okay. We have Galfrey's tower. That may be the only tower we have. Strange horticulture. We haven't actually visited strange horticulture. You know, the previous game. We probably could do that. Greywick Farm, the Barrows, the High Green Church, Wainwright Hospital, Heathwood, Lockhouse, Boatyards, Dockside Rock, Old Jail, Museum of History, the Spoken Word, Keystone Manor, Market Square, the Twinnings. I feel like I should visit the Twinnings just on principle. Town Hall, Blacksmith Guild, the Convent, Undermere Station, the Pit, Mossy Wood, Galfrey's Tower, which is here. That's not helpful. Okay. The Marybelle, the Bleak Stones, Calgarth Hall, Woodsworth Library, Jacob's Folly, Undermere Church, Strange Antiquities, where we're at currently, which is right here. Royston Farm, and the Quarry Yard, and the Eye. I did not unlock the cage, but we did find something unexpected entirely, using these plinths here. We needed the Goat of Rubbing. We needed the Evil Cunt. And we needed Silly Moon. Which then, bamf, opened up a secret passageway, which contained 3 mugs, this green spirally ball thing, and right, 2 more of these little nubbins to go into the slots down here. It's technically Evocont, but I kept accidentally mispronouncing it anyway, and if I recall, it has kind of an evil aura to it anyway, so it was very fitting. Oh, right. This was the one that bothered me just because of the theme. Weighed as much as a man's heart was about the only clue we had to identify it. So, yeah. But I've been trying to be creative with my names. Okay, so the maiden in the tower points the way. We're just gonna go to the tower because it's the only place, the only tower we've got, and see if that helps. I climb the narrow winding stair to the top of the tower and am rewarded with views across Lake Undermere. I'm not alone in the tower. Standing at the center of the circular platform is a statue of a young woman, the maiden. Her outstretched arm points due east across the rooftops of Undermere and beyond. Okay, so straight east of the tower, she points the way buried in the trees. Okay. Oops. So straight east, buried in the trees, Mossy Wood. I find what I'm looking for in a small cavity carved into a sturdy oak tree. I look around, half expecting to see someone, but there is nobody here. I take my prize and leave, feeling my mood lifted by the smell of damp moss and the gentle rush of wind through the treetops. Neat. Oh, party. Okay. I feel like you can go there? Sure. It's a good spot for it. I am noticing that there are several objects that have a number of gemstones and a number of holes. This one is not quite the same theory, but we've got 3 gems and 3 holes, 3 gems and 3 holes, and then over here we have 3 gems and 3 holes. So I'm almost wondering if they fit together like puzzle-like in some way. Kind of want to put them in their own little quadrant over here and see if that ends up becoming a theory at some point. I don't really have a way to combine them. But if I put you here, matching the center hole, nothing lines up. Put you here matching those holes, not much lines up. If I put you here, those yellow gems don't really line up to these holes. Those line, well, they almost line up. Almost. I feel like there's something here, but I don't quite know what's here. We'll leave them down there for the moment. It may come to nothing. It may be just me seeing patterns where there are none, or they just happen to have a design motif that they're sticking with. Who knows? Because we also have the purple gem constellations there and there. So far, 2 makes a pattern. Perhaps. You'll say try using that, but try using that for what? And where? And how? And who? And what? Pet kitty. Ring the bell. Hello, Verona. How did your meddling go? I walked up the beck a mile or so in the cold and wet yesterday and found a section with a handful of dead fish floating in it. Belly up and blackened they were. I'm not sure what to make of it, but I don't like it. I'm on my way to Calgarth Hall now. I spoke to Dr. Robertson earlier, and she said the 2 women they found there are still in the same state as the others, in a trance and eyes all black. Before I go, Anna Bryant asked me to drop this off. Okay. Thanks. Who's Anna Bryant again? When we were kids, we used to explore an abandoned house on the lakefront. We'd take a boat out to the northern tip of the of Naylor Island and row across from there. You know the one I'm talking about. Second from the left in the row of 4. I found myself outside its door 3 days ago, and I went inside for old time's sake. I wish I hadn't. It always had an ominous feel to it. It has taken me the last 3 days to summon the courage to write this letter, but I think it's better you see for yourself what's out there. Yours in faith, Anna Bryant. Which one's Anna Bryant again? Is she one of our named peoples? Which one's Anna Bryant? Hang on, I'm gonna look her up, see if she's in Strange Horticulture, if she's just someone I'm not remembering offhand. No, she does not come up on a search, so I'm not gonna dig any deeper. Fair enough. Okay, so this is a clue. You're talking about using this on the cage. No. How about you? I haven't used all of my things on the cage to try to open it, so that's fair. But I also don't really feel like trying every item I have. I'd rather wait for a clue. No, okay. Yeah, nothing really sings to me as an obvious key to this door. Alright, let's see if we can figure out where she's talking about. So she's talking about Naylor Island, and sailing out to the northern tip of Naylor Island. She was also talking about leaving from the second from the left in a row of 4, which would be one of these 4, I'm assuming. So, here? I don't know exactly what I was expecting to find. Anna's letter was quite vague after all, but I certainly wasn't prepared for this. In an alcove of the house, peering out through the loose mortar and crumbling brick, is a macabre shrine of sorts. A skull of a stag is mounted above the opening, its antlers smeared with a dark red substance, and large melted candles pool out into the wooden floor on either side. In the center of the altar there is a small iron chest, rusted and fused to the floor. It's clear that it's been here for a long time. I don't see any hinge or keyhole or any way of opening it at all, but after a while I noticed inspection that simply says, "I open to the voice." The voice, you say? Well, do I have anything voice related that I've already identified? Or the voice of anything? Voice of Cernunnos. Yes, the voice of Cernunnos is the Torque. The chest opens to reveal a golden totem. I can't imagine who would have stashed it here, or why, but it doesn't look like they're coming back for it anytime soon. As a fan of the TV show, The Voice. Alright. Okay. Kitty! I knew he'd yell at me if I looked at him. Kitty. Kitty. Nothing to remark on brain power of the kitty. Smells and hears of nothing. Warm and smooth across the board. Made of gold with a light pink gemstone. Lovely. You can go over here, kitty. Alright, well we found the clue. This is good. Or we found the object of the clue. Good. Pet kitty. I just got an achievement for petting the kitty 30 times. Ring the bell. Lester Crowley. Oh. I apologize if this inquisition is an imposition to your disposition. It is not my intention to bring to your attention a matter of contention. I have an inclination to perform an incantation of flirtation. For your part, the laden heart of the Thaumic art. What a poetic man. Sir. Hi. Leadheart. These items depict the god Cernunnos in his non-human form. They are heavier than they look due to a core of lead, hidden by a more modest exterior. They're said to kindle romantic interest and are sometimes given as wedding gifts. Now, when I first read this one, yes, Monday, 2 days ago, I thought that this was a very, very obscure clue. But I think I already know the answer. First off, let's get you a weight. Second off, let's get the clay deer. Heavy as fuck. Yes, okay. So, the logic behind that, in my poor brain that finally clicked, is Cernunnos was a deer god, if you will. He is a deer god. So in his animal form, the deer, and then the clue was heavy, hidden by a modest exterior, which would be a very basic clay deer that was very heavy. Using the index, I can remind myself that Cernunnos has antlers, suggesting his non-human form could be a deer. Using my weighing scales, I can confirm that the item is heavier than it looks. Okay, Corvin's Might. A Corvin's Might, sometimes called an Eagle's Gift, is an assassin's tool that makes use of Wixic power. When the warrior queen Corvin was surrounded and close to defeat, a gift came to her from an unlikely source. With it, she turned the tide of battle, and the legend of the Bloody Queen was born. Great! Alright. We have anything deer antler looking? We have plenty of curved horn looking things. Not really. Did Cernunnos have any symbology related to him? So we got the eye of... Ooh, the eye of Cernunnos. Oops, wrong button. Eye of Cernunnos. We have the lead heart, which is just the deer. And we have the voice of Cernunnos, which has the torque, but he also has snakes. He's got upside down moon pendant on his belt. Spirally... staffy looking thing. Okay. Spirally staffy looking thing. Done. Good. And this is where I think we probably should pause to read through the book. Because reading through and absorbing some of the secondary and tertiary knowledge has been helpful in learning and identifying some things. So maybe read the book. We've already read through the symbology book. Not necessarily absorbing all of it, because there's a lot of just symbols and words. But we've read through it, and we've kind of got a general picture of what we're looking at. I've read through the gem book. So let's read through the unidentified clues so far. So we've got the ecumenical. Is a receptacle commonly featuring a memento mori that acts as an aid to recollection. A memory cannot reside in both the mind and the ecumenical at the same time, and it cannot be stored indefinitely. When a memory has been left for long periods, it can begin to emit unpleasant vapors. An empty ecumenical, on the other hand, has an ominous presence, pulling at the thread of one's minds. One's mind, not plural. Okay. So, memento mori. Some sort of time thing, maybe? I mean, memento mori, that's like half of the shit in this place is some sort of reminder of death, so that doesn't really help. The ambra we just read, it mostly will be detected by the Noctic field, but it seems to be, at least at the surface, the cause of all the problems that we've got floating around town of people going into a catatonic state with black eyes. So that one we know. We haven't identified it or found it yet, but we've got it. We'll get to the ethereal key in a moment. That does sound promising. Amphesian Talon, I do believe I read it before. Amphesian Heart. The League of the Amphesian Heart use these items as part of its grim initiation rite. They guard their secrets closely, but it is said that they worship the ancient nameless gods, communing with them via the broken path. Acolytes must press the tip of a talon hard against their cheekbone to the point of drawing blood. They perform the act nightly for 49 days, 7 sevens, after which the scar will forever mark them. Okay. We did read that before. And I have been attempting to read the clues as we get them, so I don't quite recall all the ones that we've read already versus the ones that were in the book prior that we didn't read. We just read Corvin's Might. That was the bird lady. Cyrene Ward. Don't remember that one. Yeah, I remember that one. Material made from the basilisk scales. Endures intense heat. Can permit the bearer to withstand fire and flame and remain unharmed, but they do not protect against the basilisk itself. Okay? Good. Ethereal Key. An ethereal key is designed to be hidden from prying eyes. When activated by moving the object in a circular motion, the key is revealed by its gemstone of light. These are rare items and not generally known about outside of Thaumic circles. Gemstones of the night power the concealment charm. So you can only find it by knowing where it is and spinning it in circles. Okay. So I probably have the key somewhere hidden, and as soon as I get like my Thaumic detector, for example, we might be able to find it right away. Okay. Good. Great. Eye of Cernunnos. Known as the Eyes of the Forest, these ancient artifacts enable one to enter the minds of lesser creatures. It is alleged that Cernunnos himself wielded an eye. Eyes of Cernunnos are often hard to come by. They are powerful and should not be used carelessly. Great. Now, the clock. There's nothing on the clock that I've been able to identify or determine what it does yet. Could be in the clock, hiding in there somewhere. Gray's Grace, we just read, has no information whatsoever. Worn as a pendant to dispel melancholy. Share the designs of a shadow catcher. Great. Now, share the designs of a shadow catcher. I think we already had a shadow catcher identified. No? There was another one that was a shadow catcher. Shadow hold? Also called a shadow catcher. So, a shadow spirit. Which one was this? This was the bottle. This was the bottle. And it says it shares designs with it. So if we could find something else that has a similar design, we might... Aha! That looks like that shares the design. That looks indeed like that shares the design. Those two look design sharing to me. Okay. So that means that we could tentatively label that as Gray's Grace. Great. And we'll just put that right back where you came from. Okay. Let's keep on reading. Heart Chamber. There is a vast skull in the catacombs, said to be that of the beast Black Lathra. Holger's followers believe that when he slew it, he trapped its soul along with its power in an item known as the Wraith Chamber. Heart chambers are based on this mythical object, but they have morphed over time in a way to keep those dear to us close to heart after death. So, Heart Chamber. Vast skull. Blanklathra. Yeah, it doesn't really describe what it do. Or rather, it describes very well what it do. It doesn't describe what it looked like. Because this picture, seemingly unrelated in every possible way, other than one of these trinkets that he's wearing could possibly be it. Blanklathra. Great. No other references. Cool. So that one is unknown. Lamb Siphon, we've read that before. This is the anal bead plant. Used to reverse the effects of the Black Heart Curse, which was, if I recall, used in the first game, I think? Something like that? Skilled hand is required to perform the procedure, drawing the curse from the body over the course of several hours. The instrument is made using the dried seed pod of a sheep snap plant. No, that's not right. It was something else that we used a plant for to cure something. black heart-ish, curse-ish in the first game. Moonstone Guardian was the one that has not very much information. Resonance Compass will point towards nearby resonant objects, the only objects that can be detected in this way. Resonant objects are highly prized both by thaumaturges and those who collect occult curiosities. But we don't have the compass yet, so, you know. Restful Mether. A mether, possibly mether, is a thaumaturge's link to the inner mind. A hot tea made from the Drenthium plant is drunk from them, taking on different properties depending on the type of mether. A particular type can be used to enter a meditative state and bypass the rush and clutter of consciousness, promoting clarity of thought. So, this very clearly resembles one of the mugs we just got. It also did mention that there are multiple different types of mether. So all three of those mugs we just got quite possibly are methers. And the type is probably an important distinction. And will probably come in later, where whatever tea we brew and give to someone will have different effects based on which cup we give them. Do we have any other methers? No, we only have the restful mether. So this one, if this is truly the depiction of the restful mether, would be probably this one? Because this one's only got the two handles on the sides. This one looks more rocket ship-ish. This one's got what appears to be 4 like mug-style handle loops on each side. So restful mether, maybe? Sextrum. Protects against insanity in all of its forms. These items, like the mind itself, are not well understood. Great. Could you be any more vague? Great. This is more of a process of elimination situation. I hope by the time someone asks for a sextrum that I have nothing else in my shop that is unlabeled, therefore only having one item to give them, because otherwise, this is a guess. Alright. Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Shimmer. These belong to a series of objects that were designed to slot into armor or weaponry. They induce calm rage in the face of imaginable horrors of battle, allowing the bearer to stay one step ahead. The Knight of Thorns famously wore a shimmer on his chestplate, but it didn't save him from being slain in the Battle of Sutherfell of 1356. Okay, so I don't know which item or piece of decoration on this counts as the shimmer. But again, we have a triangular set of pins, perhaps, that the thing would slot into. So maybe that's what this is supposed to be. Which then, I think, because we got the loops here, the outer rounded bits, center hole, ... It looks kind of sort of like it might be this one, but not quite. Not quite. Close. I don't think we have anything that would fit into that slot currently, if that is indeed the slot. So we're just going to bypass that and keep that general shape in mind. Shin. These common items are made using materials with a connection to the ocean. They began as superstition, simple objects made by sailors and fishermen to keep their boats safe. But with the help of the old thaumaturges, they became something more, and many lives were saved. Great! Made by ocean-related things. That's real helpful. Oops. Scythian Charm. Older Scythian charms are carved out of wood, but more powerful designs make use of the planetary metals. No two are identical. They are used by horticulturists to encourage stubborn plants to thrive. They change with the weather, usually quite cold, but warm and tingly to the touch while it's raining. It is currently raining, and we did label something as warm and tingly. This one, warm and tingly. And these do look like they are planetary metals, being gold and silver. It is currently raining, and it is currently warm and vibrating. So this one is the one that is temporarily thought to be the Scythian charm. So I should probably actually label that. Maybe. I was waiting for the rain to stop to check it again to see if it's no longer warm and tingly. We shall see. Oh. We can test it near the plant. Let's give it a shot. See if it do anything. In fact, test it near both of the plants. So that one is tentatively identified. Spirit Eye. That is the wrong button. Spirit Eye. There are some who stay away from the Spirit Eyes, believing them to be a window into the world that should not be seen, and others who deride their fear as nothing more than superstition. It's not clear exactly what they do show. Another layer beneath the visible world, perhaps. A layer that requires something more than the traditional senses to experience. They draw their power from the opposing symbols inscribed upon them. We did read this one before. We had a couple theories about opposing symbols. We have opposing symbols, but there's nothing really that indicates that this gives me vision into another world, for example. So maybe we also have some opposing symbols over here, but these were more just random weather related symbols, not necessarily opposing like light and dark or anything like that. I don't think we have any other opposing symbols. So this was tentatively identified, maybe, who knows. Tenebrine Cloak. We have read this before. Upon activation, a Tenebrine Cloak can create a sphere of enshrouding darkness that will cloak all within its reach. A single stone set in bronze gives the power to these totems. Now we have several single stones set in bronze. This one. That one. That one. That one. Some of them have already been identified, so they're kind of cut out of the running, but still. May also not even have it yet. Who knows? Valant. The holes in a Valant are of roughly equal size and spacing. They are used by the adventurous to help them find their way. A curious pulse can be felt where its power concentrates. Now, I do have several things that have holes that are roughly equal size and spacing. So maybe, just maybe, I'm just trying to see if it gives me the effect that it claimed to have. Nothing really. Everything else with several holes of even spacing? No, actually I don't. Things with holes, well, I have this one. Several holes with even-ish spacing. No, okay. It's fine. It's fine. Ah! Ah, noises! Civil. EOG. Thank you both for the raid. I appreciate you. Aloha, welcome everybody. Come, have a seat. Feel free to browse my shop. You are welcome to touch anything you'd like. Just make sure to read the warning labels first. Ah, more noises! More noises! More noises. More noises. It's making all the noises. Indeed, Blade. This is the second game in the series called Strange Antiquities instead of Strange Horticulture. So you are correct. This one just released last month. So it is the sequel. I would say spiritual sequel and sequel in the same universe, but not an actual sequel because it's not related to the first story, but it's in the same city, some of the same characters, and similar themes and stuff like that. But this time, instead of growing and identifying plants, we are collecting and identifying doodads. Yes, indeed. I have been told that we are taking a stretch break, so we are taking a stretch break. This is my attempt to ease my way into spooky season, as this is not very spooky, but it does have some spooky undertones, cults, horrible things going on, mysteries to solve, slightly Lovecraftian in nature, so it's thematically appropriate. Don't I Lovecraft year-round? I mean, yes, I guess. Yeah, I mean, as of more lately, yes. Tentacles deep, you say? This is my new octopus from the Minnesota Zoo. Okay. We don't have any more hints to follow, but we were reading the book. That's right. I was distracted. I'm reading the book. So we have done up to the Valiant. We read The Veiled Fen recently. Brightly colored in the light, but clouds over after a short period in total darkness. I tried to wave the candle over everything, but I didn't get any changes. They can be used to command attention from individuals or small groups of people. Public speakers sometimes use them as a substitute for charisma. We have already identified the Visager, and we have given the Visager to an old lady who needed to have some personal time. Voices are Nunos. Witch's Finger, we haven't identified, but we're pretty positive we know which one that is. Zia. Worn about the neck to place them closer to the heart. These innocent-looking items instill a sense of fear and paranoia. They can be difficult to remove. Zias are made of any single material except wood or clay. They typically have no symbol or other writings on their surface. The Zia was one of a choice that we had earlier. A lady was stealing pendants from another lady. She came to us for help, saying, "Get this lady to stop stealing my shit." and I had the choice of giving her either a pendant that made her feel guilt and remorse, or give her a pendant that made her feel terror, horror, fear, and other assorted bad emotions. So we chose to give her the remorse option, and she came to us and said, "Hey, I feel really bad. Can you help me stop my addiction?" And I said, "All right, cool. We'll get you fixed." So we never really got to identify the Zia, which was the other of the choice that we did not take. And I also don't think I actually have anything that matches that description. Not made of wood or clay, and has basically no symbols adorned on it. I don't really have anything like that. This is probably the closest I have that does not have any symbols on it. And it's not made of clay or stone, but it doesn't give me any sense of dread or fear or anything like that, so I figured that's probably not it. I don't think I even have the thing, so I couldn't have given it anyway. The bone thing, this was actually one of the very first that we identified in the game, called the Hunter's Boon, and it is actually a tooth of like a tiger or other big cat. Oh, this bone thing, the serpent's ear. This was a different one that we already identified fairly early in the game as well. So this one is unfortunately also not that one. I don't think it's actually called the serpent's ear. I have been kind of loosey-goosey with my naming situations, so not all of them are quite what they should be. Which was the serpent's ear again? I've forgotten. Was that the Guise of Lillian? No, it wasn't the Guise of Lillian. It wasn't the Hearing Charm, Serpent's Ear, no. Ah, the Ossic Ring. Yeah. Macabre object made as offerings to Korchin. Keeps vermin at bay. Some say they can hear Korchin's unearthly hiss when they hold an Ossic ring up to their ear, hence the serpent's ear. What's the eye one in the book? Are you talking about the Eye of Cernunnos? We haven't found that one yet, and it doesn't really have enough descriptive information on it for me to pick it out of my current collection. It just says, Eyes of the Forest, ancient artifacts to enter the minds of lesser creatures, allege that Cernunnos himself wielded an eye, hard to come by, powerful, don't use it willy-nilly. So we don't really actually have information on what it looks like, except the part where Cernunnos himself wielded the eye. So if we look at Cernunnos, which is under, is it the voice? Has the picture of Cernunnos. So it said Cernunnos wields the eye. So it could be this. I'd say most likely this, or the snake itself, or the moon buckle that he's got, because we've already identified his torque. So this is close, and we do have this that kind of sort of resembles that. Green gemstone wrapped in yew, and a little bit of a spirally pattern. Hard and rough, hard and cool, polished. It has pleasant scent that reminds me of the forest. So this could be the eye, for sure. And then perception's got nothing. So let's label you tentatively Eye of the Dear God. Oh, right. Hang on. There we go. Oh, move it around the cat. You want it? You want it? Good kitty. Does the kitty do that for anything? It does, okay. So it's not related specifically to that object. Love it. What about... Yeah, okay. That's fair. So this is tentatively Eye of the Deer God. Which is the Eye of Cernunnos. So that's good. I mean, we're getting closer. We've identified many Deer God items. We have the twerk of Cernunnos. We have the actual Deer God himself. And then we have the Eye of the Deer God, theoretically. Alright. We're getting places. This is good. Alright. Pet the kitty. Ring the bell. Hello, Angus. How can I help you? Oh, you're not Eli. I'm returning an item he asked for me to repair. The mechanism was mangled, but I've replaced all the springs and given it a clean. Good as new. Okay. Shiny. What are you? What do you do? It's the mechanism. So, brain inner perception has nothing to remark. Great. Oh. Sorry. It has no sense or sounds. It is smooth to the touch. It is made of gold. And a black gemstone in the middle. Okay. Curious. We still do not have a taste meter, Iron Ninja. I cannot lick it. And in all honesty, licking random mysterious objects of power probably is not the best plan. I mean, hell, this one is just straight up vinegar. So, you know, that was probably the least offensive one that we've got here. This one's just caked in dried blood. This one's made of bones. This one's been in something else's mouth. So, yeah, licking things at random probably not the best plan. Now, we have this doodad. I have no idea what this doodad do. I can't seem to interact with it in any way other than clicking on the little petals. Actually, let's open them all up. And then see if that... No, okay. We're just going to put you right here for now, for lack of a better place to put you. Thanks, bud, for dropping by a mysterious unlabeled trinket that you happen to know all of the inner workings of, but did not care to tell me. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Pet the kitty. Ring the bell. Ah, Eli, hello. Did you tell me about the thing? Also, do you want your shop back? You've kind of fucked off and left me your shop, but whatever. It wasn't my intention to... Shit. It wasn't my intention to leave you unattended for this long, but I'm afraid that I'm going to need to rely on you for a little longer. The Order of the Black Veil seemed more concerned by the Ravens than the Black Eye estate that Mr. Hungerford was found in. They said it would take a very powerful force indeed to upset them like that. Unfortunately, they either weren't able or weren't willing to talk any further on the subject. I was hoping to avoid it, but I must go to Oxford and the Bodleian Library. I will be gone for a few days at least, perhaps longer. But you seem to be handling yourself well here. I do not see eye to eye with the head of collections at the Bodleian, but I do know that he takes an interest in horticulture. I will take him a Scythian charm to smooth things over between us. Yeah, that's my guess too, Blade. Specific sets of petals to be pressed or in a specific order or something like that. So, you want a Scythian charm, you say? We do have a tentatively identified Scythian charm. So let's give him that. No longer tentatively identified. Item made of gold and silver, planetary metals. Leaves hint at the horticultural use of the item. Closer inspection reveals that the item vibrates in the wet weather. Good. Good. And he has given us a clue on a diverging hook. Now, the diverging hook was mentioned in the first night of our overnight story that we've got going on, where the rider was sliced by the diverging hook across his face, and his brain was all muddled because of it. A diverging hook is a way to carve thoughts from the mind of another. That sounds about right. If done with skill, the third party may have no realization that the thought was ever there at all, but it is all too easy to leave a mind in disarray. Even when approached with care, the unanchored thoughts are easy to lose track of. They have a single gemstone from each of the 3 thaumic branches. Okay. That's something. Each of the 3 thaumic branches. Okay. Well, bye. Have fun on your trip. We do have 2 different items that have 3 different gems on them. So that's something. So we'll have to look at the gems to see if they are actually orange and yellow and turquoise. Okay. And this one is pale yellow, black, and green. This one looks malachite-ish. Okay. Alright. Let's look at these. So we've got pale yellow. There's a pale yellow gemstone in both of them. So at the very least, we only have to identify 5 gems instead of 6. We got an orange, turquoise, and pale yellow. And then we have pale yellow, black, and dark green. Okay, so let's refresh. 3 branches of thaumaturgy. Celestial, diurnal, and individual. It says that it has 3 gems, 1 from each of the 3 branches. So we need one that has either Selenic or Dradic, one that has either Diurnic or Noctic, and then one that has Mentic or Wixic. That's clue 1. Clue 2, the gems themselves that I will eventually click correctly. So amber is yellow or orange. It doesn't really necessarily say it's the pale yellow one. Do we have a pale yellow one? This is our malachite. Dark green, striated, mentic. Okay. Diurnic, Dradic, Wixic. Okay. I might need help taking notes. So, Wixic. Okay. So topaz is our pale yellow. And it is Wixic. So each of these 2 have a Wixic gem. And Wixic covers our need for the individual, so we don't need a Mentic. Okay, it's good. Good start. Good start. Next one, dark green, which is the malachite. So malachite was the Mentic, which we don't need because it's the other half of the individual. So that pretty much immediately rules out this one as the dark hook. There is another dark green, but this one specifically has the stripy striations that are very indicative of malachite. The other green one is... Well, this one's greenish. Green and blue. Oops. Keep right-clicking. Right-clicking is not the answer. And then there was also a turquoise-looking one. There was the jade one that's just regular old green. And that's it. So, yes. So, that is a malachite, and that rules this one out from being part of it. This one, we have an orange gemstone. Probably amber. Pale yellow... I mean, it's technically pale yellowy orange, but that's not mentioned. We have a pale yellow gem, and then we have a gem that is labeled as yellowy orange. So this is a little bit misleading. I'm going to go pale yellow, probably topaz. And then we have turquoise. So orange and turquoise. Dark green striated. Where did you see speckled? Ah, you're talking about the black gemstone. Yes, that's correct. There is another black gemstone. There is the obsidian. Or onyx, which is striated. But the black gem is not relevant because the black gem is in the one that we've already ruled out. So we can skip that one. But you're right, this black gemstone does not really... I mean, it kind of sort of looks obsidian-ish. Because it's definitely not striated, and it's definitely not speckled. And it does look kind of sort of obsidian. We don't need to look up that black gemstone, really. Yeah, it looked obsidian-ish. This one is probably amber, topaz, and probably the turquoise. Because it's turquoise. Aquamarine. Turquoise. So this is the Dradic, and Dradic was the first celestial. Okay, so we have a celestial and we have an individual, and then we need amber is diurnic, so that covers the third one up here. Okay, this is good. So we got the Dradic. Aquamarine. We've got the diurnic amber, and then we have the wixic topaz. So, in theory, this is our object. And it happens to be that we just recently acquired this one. And that would make sense in terms of them giving us clues shortly after getting the thing. So we'll label this one as the brain knife. Question mark, just in case. Which was actually called the diverging hook. Okay. So, process of elimination and identification and clue gathering, we have gotten the thing. Supposedly. Now, this doesn't do anything for us yet. Sir. Sir. You shush. It doesn't do anything for us yet, except for give us a piece of the puzzle of the slowly evolving story. So all we really have now is the item in question that has damaged our rider that we are learning about in our nightly adventures. Probably dreams. Not really exactly sure how we're getting this information, but it's fine. Okay. Pet kitty. Ring the bell. Hello, Francesca. I'm at a loss with these patients. They aren't responding to anything I've tried so far, and I haven't been able to find anything in the literature that fits their symptoms. I'm finding that they become violent if they aren't restrained, and they're always trying to leave. If nothing else, Duranthium tea from Restful Mether might get a moment of lucidity out of them, but if you've got any ideas, then I'm all ears. I mean... Oh, Witch's Finger was the one that supposedly could fix them. Ooh, we have a choice point. We have a choice point here. Okay, so Witch's Finger is one option. Said to be severed digits of a witch, capable of inflicting intense pain, but the goal is supposedly purification of the body. A most unpleasant experience, but a last resort that has cured some and finished off others. So it could cure them, or it could give them excruciating pain and then kill them. So that is one choice point. The other choice point is the Mether. Mether. Thaumaturge is linked to the inner mind. Hot tea made from Dryanthem plant is drunk from them, taking on different properties depending on the type of mether. This particular type can be used to enter a meditative state and bypass the rush and clutter of consciousness, promoting clarity of thought. So, this one has the chance to simply bring them back to a moment of lucidity so we can then ask them questions, perhaps. No pain indicated. Mether does sound like the more merciful option for sure. But it is only temporary. True. But the less painful option, and may provide enough information to then follow a trail of clues to potentially solve the problem in a more gentle way. It's true. The witch's finger has the option to either fix their problem or relieve them of their suffering. Life is pain. Squish that cat. Squish that cat. Okay, so are we in on the mether, or are we in on the witchy fingers? Sybil's in for fingering, okay. This game, if it's anything like the other one, should have multiple endings. So this is probably one of our choice points that would change the course of the story. But much like the previous one, I am not going to do multiple endings. I'm going to take my fate as it comes. Oh, Blade got swayed towards the way of the fingering. Anyone else with a vote or an opinion to share on the fingering a person to death or a moment of clarity in tea form? The other point to note that we haven't brought up yet because we were trying to figure out the actual choice is, while this is the restful mether, which is a mug, I happen to have 3 mugs to pick from that we have not fully properly identified yet. So, not even sure which of these 3 mugs is the solution to the problem. The other interesting point is it's entirely possible when we come to this choice point that we haven't found the mugs yet. So if I hadn't previously solved the puzzle down here to get the mugs out of the secret cubby, our only choice would have been the witchy finger. So it makes me lean towards the tea just because it's the harder choice that would have only come from more careful exploration and observation and puzzle solving prior to getting to this point in the game. I have the finger. I actually hid the finger in a cubby with the creepy hand. At least I supposedly have the finger. Come to think of it, actually, I got the witch's finger. I got the witch's finger from the chest next to the deer god altar after the note from my childhood friend or whatever. So I would have had to have figured out her clue and solved this clue first to get the witchy fingers. I think that's what I got in there. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, the check mark just means that we've properly identified it. And the proper identification comes from putting it in here and having a check. So we can only ever properly identify an item if someone explicitly asks for it and we successfully identify it through checking. So which means we're only going to get a check next to one of these two when we solve this specific question. So we got 2 votes for the fingering and we've got 2 votes for the tea. Here, let's try it. Let's try this another way. Ducks, tiebreaker. Tiebreaker. Undisclosed information, ducks. A nice cup of tea or a good fingering? I will not elaborate further. Make your choice. Duck's tiebreaker is the tea. Alright, we're going tea. Aha! Hang on, we got a problem to solve. Hang on. I forgot about this. Totally forgot about this. Hang on. Find the booklet on curses and whatever this creepy thing is. Some kind of green organic material wrapped in wood with a weird handle. Hard, thin, and delicate. Sounds hollow when tapped. And it feels of nothing. Alright. On curses and their effects. We are taking a side path from this difficult discussion to learn about curses. By the way, it is by Dr. J. Robertson. Could also be an F, depending on the font. Black heart. The heart of the sufferer feels constricted, as though it is clamped in a vice. The skin is pale and cold to the touch, and veins stand out darkly on the body. Eventually, death will occur. Praxis. Characterized by a necrosis of the flesh, the afflicted will feel no pain, but the scarring has no cure. Breath of Lyra. While those affected appear to be able to breathe normally, they feel as though they are choking. Burning blood. The subject has a sensation of burning from the inside out. It is rarely survived, and those that do never fully recover. Morgan's insanity. A poison of the mind. Great. Noctic sight. Those suffering from this curse speak of increasingly vivid nightmares. The sapphire curse. I almost read that as the sapphic curse. I'm like, well, some people would be happy with that. Marked by a telltale blue tint to the eyes, those under this curse are plagued by waking hallucinations. Tormund's paralysis affects the mouth and tongue, so the speech becomes impossible. Great. We have learned about curses. Lovely. I'll slap you right there along with the rest of the library. Just gonna... Yeah. Oh, I can't even take it back. It is used. Back down the hole with you. No, that did not help at all, unfortunately. Praxis does sound just like gangrene, yep. Okay, so, teacup, restful mether. With our tiebreaker ducks giving us the restful mether. That was not the restful mether. I see. So, that means that this is not the restful mether. Great. Unfortunately, the restful meter did not have any descriptions of what it should look like other than those handles. The particular type can be used to enter a meditative state and bypass the rush and clutter of consciousness, promoting clarity of thought. Okay, so we have other mugs to pick from. Are you the restful meter? Or not the restful meter? Oh boy! I have a sanity meter over here, and those two failed choices ratcheted up my sanity meter all the way to the top. Normally, failed choices are like, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the bar at best. These are like half of the bar each. So that's bad choices. All right. Book page. Restful Meter. So it's got what appears to be kind of standard round, like, mug handles, but in like sets of 4. And the only reason I didn't go with the mug on the right is because the mug on the right has what appears to be these little standy doodads that give it a different profile, different appearance. Whereas this one had the actual like standard mug shapes. Nothing to remark. Nothing to remark. Nothing to remark. We do have a scent and sound on each of these. Sharp aroma, strong odor, sharp but not entirely unpleasant. So this might be the one that says this is probably the one we should drink out of. The purple stones, Scooby identified it as very reminiscent, if not nearly identical, to the Cassiopeia constellation. But the book describes nothing of the sort. It doesn't describe anything about what the mug looks like or what decorations it may have on it. So, I mean, this is our third mug, our third choice. We kind of really don't have any other mugs to pick from, so this has probably got to be the right one. Great. This item resembles the drinking cup in the sketch, except it absolutely does not. Has several embedded iolite gemstones, stones of peace, which hint at its ability to induce a meditative state. You bitch! Probably should have read up on the gems. You're right, Ducks. Bones Guard. A small item known as Bones Guard can be placed in any liquid to render it safe to drink. King Cedric the Meek was well known to be terrified of being poisoned, so always drank from the same goblet and always placed a Bones Guard inside. He was stabbed to death in 1203. He was terrified of being poisoned, constantly took pains not to be poisoned. Stabbed to death. These objects bear the mark of the antidote. Okay, that's fair. The gems. Iolite. Do we even have iolite in here? We do have iolite in here. Calming stone of peace and safety. Okay. So if I had read up on the gems, if I were smart and had thought to do that, we would have had another clue to go with. But the fact that they said that this represents the mug in the drawing is patently false. This represents the mug in the drawing. Just saying. This game does like lying to me. You also get labeled with liar. You're a liar. Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's good enough. We don't need a symbol. I don't recognize the word Biozar. If that's even how you pronounce that. I've never heard that term before. Oh, I was gonna look up. Hang on. What was the new thing's name that we just got? Bones Guard. Still not familiar with the term, actually. Bones Guard, which is probably Bilzar, Bezoar. Sort of sounding similar. Okay, so we need the Mark of the Antidote. So poison is this. Do we have a symbol for antidote? Not really. Not really. So the mark of the antidote could be just an inverted poison symbol. Could be poison and protection, another good one. Do we have anything with symbols related to those things? That one's a protection only. Not really. Not really. So this one's got protection in a ring around a ram-looking thing, not poison. Kitty. Hi, kitty. Kitty. Bezoar, stone of junk that builds up in the digestive system, which is prized in ye olden days. People believe that a Bezoar had a power of a universal antidote and would work against any poison. A drinking glass that contained a Bezoar could allegedly neutralize any poison poured into it. Ah, Gutstone. I don't remember what the term is that I had heard for the Gutstone, but I don't recall Bezoar. It does have the diamond at the bottom, but it doesn't have the two crosses. It's close blade, but not quite. I would almost think this one, but that's not the symbol for poison. What is that symbol? That was the symbol for insanity. I remember that. So that was the symbol for insanity, and then protection around that. Now, that being said, I am reminded of an entry we read earlier, which is why I wanted to read all the entries, in case my brain kicks in. There was one that had zero information other than it protects against insanity. And that one, right there, the Sextrum, protects against insanity in all its form. These items, like the mind itself, are not well understood. So this is the symbol for insanity, surrounded by protection symbols. Got it. Just in case this ends up being a question. It does have the 6 points to fully represent the Sextrum. It's interesting that I first had no idea what the hell this was, nor what that book entry was. And then all of a sudden it just clicked in my brain like, hey, that's what that means. True. Sex representing 6 has always been fairly amusing. Alright. So, Due to my my brain issue here, we need to be very careful with our upcoming choices, because I only have like one failure left in me. So we pet the kitty and ring the bell. It takes a long time to do each one of these days, as we keep getting sidetracked by all the different things to do. I've come to thank you for sharing the wonder of the Ares remnant with me. It has changed my life. I'm still getting to grips with it, but I already am feeling my way back to painting again. Thank you. Okay. I still love the okay as my only response to everyone who speaks to me. Okay, whatever. She was the lady who was blind and had come to terms with her blindness but really missed painting and asked us for a way to help her with that. And we had the option to give her something that let her see into another realm of doom and dismay, or an option to give her an item that presented her with something more akin to synesthesia, so that she could feel colors and see smells or whatever. So that was our choice, to give her the nice option and not the doom option. We are hydrating. We can hydrate. So she very much is still blind, but she now has heightened alternate senses to work with. Okay. Ding. Sorry, kitty. Pet the kitty. Ding the bell. Okay. End the day. Our story continues. He knew what he had to do. Without hesitating, he took hold of his diverging hook and used it to cut away the infected part of his mind before it could spread and consume him entirely. That's what happened. Okay, so he had a diverging hook and he did it to himself. Because the previous night, something had gotten into his mind and was starting to take him over. So he cut that infection away from his own brain. And then, prior to night one, started running to town to see if he can get himself saved and not die. We still don't know exactly what's going on, but they clearly found something they shouldn't have found, which was that black casket. And then that night after they found the black casket, shit started hitting the fan. Okay, we're learning more. Bing. This is neat, by the way. Just fun to play with. The tower, you say? That's usually ruinous in tarot terms. I am closest to the sunset, but furthest from the sunrise. You're gonna challenge my sun rises in the east and sets in the west memory, because I can never remember if that's correct or not. Sun rises in the west and sets in the east? The other way around? I can never remember. I don't know why. That's always... It's like my inability to remember left versus right sometimes. It's just... I can't ever get that right. East to west. Okay. Land of the setting sun versus land of the rising sun. Ah, that could work. Well, maybe as you just keep throwing all these various mnemonics at me, I'll eventually get it. Okay, now this doesn't really help. I am closest to the sunset, but furthest from the sunrise. Do we have any towers that are to the west? The Bleak Stones, maybe? We've already been to Galfrey's Tower. Jacob's Folly, perhaps? Lady Rosalind built the folly in memory of her husband, lost to the lake, or the story goes. Now it stands wind-worn and empty, overlooking the water. I checked the turret just in case. Nothing but dust and old stones. Love doesn't leave much behind. So that was close to the clue, but I think that was their way of saying, you read the clue correct, but you got the wrong location. Because they gave me a descriptor They didn't give me a failure of searching, but they did give me, you found a tower, it wasn't the right one. Nice try. A solo play journaling game that utilized tarot cards as a way to randomize the events. Yes, Blade, that'd be interesting. Maybe I'll try to dig out one of my tarot decks. I haven't dug out my tarot decks in ages. I don't even remember where they are offhand. The only one I can remember that I have offhand is a Native American themed tarot deck. But I think I have others. Ooh, I still have, I have a more recent one. Hang on, I'm gonna go get it, because it's neat and it's somewhat thematic. Also, I need more tea anyway, so BRB! And we're back. So we're going to switch to this view to show off my tarot deck. Because I used to have many tarot decks. Partly because I used to travel with Mom to New Age conventions. New Age conventions being healing crystals, tarot decks, various other forms of fortune telling, Reiki healing, incense, candles, Wicca, all sorts of kind of non-standard spiritualist stuff. But I have lost most of those. Well, not lost, but I never really kept them. My mom kept most of them. And then she moved and downsized her house, so almost all of those got probably donated to Goodwill or something like that. So most of those are gone, unfortunately. But I did get this one recently because it was kind of thematic. Obviously read backwards, but this is the Octopus Tarot, which looks kind of neat. It's got a nice little style to it. I'll skip the book for now. It's got a very neat back design to it, very shiny. And then the actual octopus. We've got the world. I can't read these backwards. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. We've got speaking of the tower that is very ruinous recently, we have the tower. We've got the sun. We have the star. We have the moon. So there's just lots of really neat looking tarot in here. Here's our magician. I need a better camera for this, by the way. I don't really have a good camera for displaying pretty things. We have the lovers, which looks to be a pair of octopuses entwined. The high priestess is a highly decorated octopus in a tall, conic, spiky shell. So yeah, there's just a lot of really neat tarot cards in here. Let's see, is there another one that looks really neat? Some of these aren't even separated. We have the lazy emperor. With a little lounging on his chair. Also, howdy Nelora TV. Sorry, VT. You came in time to see my octopus tarot. I do need a just chatting camera. This was theoretically the just chatting camera setup because it's got you guys at the bottom. It's got the kitties on the side for when we want to display the kitties. It's got the me bigger over here. Let's see what else we got. We got temperance. We got strength. We got justice. Here is judgment. They're very neat. This one is death. There's various. There's skull. There's fish bones. There's a raven skull. There's various other death-related things on here. I do have another one. It's not really set up to be displayed, but I have. I don't have it. I don't have one. I'll see about setting one up at some point. And then of course we have the numbered suits. So we've got our Two of Pentacles. We've got. See if we can find a sword in here. Six of Swords. But yeah, just the whole art style is very neat, and I like that it's shiny. The edge is even shiny, which is real neat. The edge is just hella shiny and mirrored. It's just really, it's a neat set. This was a Kickstarter. Someone linked to me. I don't remember who, probably Scooby. And I just immediately bought it because it's up my theme alley. And then we have, of course, the entire Octopus Tarot book for all of your various interpretations and meanings of all the different cards. I haven't done tarot in a long time. I used to be able to do readings, at least for the major arcana. That was not very great at the minor arcana. But I was able to do readings and run through a full like tarot reading session. Some of the basic layouts, you know, the 3-card spread for your past, present, future kind of thing. Used to be able to do that at the will at will because I was able to. I had been taught, for better or worse, at all those various conventions that I used to go to. So yeah, I have a somewhat of an occult background. Your wife's mom does readings. Nice. Alrighty, Iron Ninja, thanks for hanging out. Have yourself a good night. And back to the game, shall we? Oh, right, the game disappeared. There we go. Back to the game, shall we? The Octopus of Judgment.
I'm watching you, newcomer.
Nylora, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by and seeing the tarot cards at the second that you clicked. How convenient. Okay, so yeah, back to our little shop of antiquities. And this is why I feel that these were relatively thematic. Blade brought up the game that he linked, which I will also click over somewhere because I know you linked it. There it is. I will look at that later. And our little shop of antiquities here would not be misplaced to have tarot cards sitting on a bookshelf somewhere. My mom used to work for Llewellyn Publishing. Llewellyn being a fairly well-known New Age publisher, which is why we used to go to conventions all the time, because she was there selling books. So every year we would go to Colorado for a Colorado convention, went to San Francisco, San Diego. Colorado was our most common one. Mom used to go to the Arizona one without me because it was usually bad timing for school and whatnot. But yeah, I was hanging around that crowd all the time. My favorite, and I always thought this was a little bit silly, even though I was deeply embedded in the New Age stuff at the time, my favorite was a pair of little old people. Like, they were like 5 foot tops. They were very tiny old people. And they were always dressed in monkish robes. And the guy would give talks. And as part of one of his talks, he would describe his alien landing pad that he had built in his backyard. Specifically for when the aliens were to come. He had a spot for them to land. Take that for what it's worth. Alright. Ooh, I wanted to touch the thing. Hang on. Nothing to remark. No, wait, this one. No, this one. Cold. Okay. Confirmation. This was the one that was warm and tingly when it's raining. And it is now cold, now that it is not raining. I wanted confirmation of that feeling sense, because we only ever got to touch it when it was warm and tingly. So you can go, bop, you are the Sith charms. Let's give you a symbol. What symbol would work for you? You need the sun charm. I know. It was very kind of him to have a place for the aliens to land. He was a delightful old man. The couple was very delightful. They were very uniquely spiritual, I would say. Very much out there, even in the space of the New Age conventions. Very much out there. But they were prominent figures. They were well known, well liked. They were very friendly, very lovely people. With some interesting beliefs. Very interesting beliefs. Okay, so we have a clue that we still have not solved. Back to the tower from 15 minutes ago. So we attempted to find the tower there, and that didn't do it. We were also told to stay out of these towers. But we also don't have a western tower that I can go to. These are not clickable. No, that's right, that's a switch map. We don't have western tower that we can go to. We only have these 2 towers. These 4 towers that we were also told to stay the hell out of. Is there another western tower? There's this western tower, Galfrey's. But we've already been to Galfrey's tower. Oh yeah, the birds here, yeah. These are really nicely done maps. They're very pretty. Lots of little details. Mars in winter, rising in summer. That's probably relevant. Clue somewhere. Nicely detailed maps, though. So, the clue. I am closest to the sunset, but further from the sunrise. It looks like a tower, very clearly. But I don't think there's enough information. Let's go back to the Galfreys Tower, just in case. Oh. Yeah. This is one we had already been to. This was the pointing lady. And the pointing lady was from a previous clue that pointed us to the circle of trees here where a thing was buried. So I don't know. Yes. So we could try to go to one of those towers. And I wish I could find which clue or which piece of paper it was. Do we have a piece of paper that tells me more? No, it was not a piece of paper. It was a conversation. And it was a conversation with this gentleman? Yes, this gentleman. So his mention is... So he's following up on the behavior of the ravens. The ravens are being weird. The ravens are back, getting worse. He asked us to come visit Gleeston Castle, gave us a map, told us we were free to enter and look around, but we need to stay out of the South Tower and the master bedroom. So, as long as we don't go in the South Tower, which we're looking for the West Tower, so should be fine. As long as we stay out of the South Tower, we should be good. So, north here. So, South Tower here. West Tower here. North, east, south, west. Thank you for the reminder, Syl. I had previously noticed that north was not correct, but I had forgotten. The view from the tower is quite beautiful, but it's what I find inside that catches my attention. In the middle of the room is an unlocked wooden chest, and within that, not one, but two smaller wooden chests, along with a cryptic scrap of paper. Okay. Something by a diurnal seal, the object made from silver, diurnal field. We still don't have the field detector. So that is the thing that we still need to figure out. We don't have a field detector. We have a clue that mentions a field detector. And we have two different clues now that point out how to identify specific items related to having a field. But we don't have a field detector yet. So that's probably a later mechanic. We'll probably get there eventually. You, smooth polished, okay. You are made of wood with gold leaf inlay. Ooh, could this be the brain box? It's got the time symbol on it. But no, it doesn't have the memento mori on it. At least not that I know of. It doesn't look like it. Nothing sight or sound or smell. There is an unpleasant sensation at the back of my skull. Well, that's not a good place to have that. Over here, nothing to remark. No scents or smells or sounds. Polished, hardened, cool, engraved symbols. Purple gems, bronze, wood with bronze details. Okay, great. The gem, purple. Probably amethyst, stone of containment. Makes sense. It's on a box. Great, love it. Cool. We're just gonna put these boxes somewhere for the time being. You can go over here. I'll even put the piece of paper with you. Cool. Alright, pet the kitty. Ring the bell. As if I didn't have enough on my plate right now. My sister Bonnie has been acting strange lately. She never got over the death of our father. She's always blamed Mr. Potter for his role in it, and now, with all this happening, she's got it in her head that he's behind it somehow. I'm worried she's going to do something stupid. If she comes in here, whatever you do, do not give her anything dangerous. I want to give her a keepsake to let her know that she's still loved. I've seen people gifting one another wooden totems, but I don't know what they're called. Wooden totem, you say? You could not be more clear about this situation. Probably the goat. Probably the goat of rubbing. Because the goat of rubbing was the one that... I wish I remembered the real name of it. Libula. No, not Libula. Probably should name these things correctly. A symbol on the purple stone box. I'll get to that in a sec. A selenic totem? Not a selenic totem. Okay. We'll rename this one correctly once we find the right one. Aries remnant? No, not that one. That's not goat related. That's ram related. Horn Shackle. That's the one. Horn Shackle. This is the one where used to bring about change in one's life, bestowing the ability to overcome personal demons. That seems to be what she's looking for. Horns are rubbed between one's fingers, causing them to become worn smooth over the years, and they are typically common totems. And the goat of rubbing +3 was previously given to people who had troubles in their lives that they were attempting to overcome. Just name it horny. I mean, yeah, I guess that would be a little bit... Here, how about this? Horny goat of rubbing +3. That gives it an entirely different connotation. But this one should be a small wooden totem that she's looking for to give to her sister to calm her. So let's give her that. Fuck. She doesn't want the horny goat of rubbing. She just wants a wooden totem of some kind. Ma'am, you're gonna need to be more specific. In fact, I don't have any more wooden totems. This is the only other wooden totem I have. All the rest of my totems are stone. Unless you mean this. Is this wood? It is a light color wood. Which one? What did that one do? I forgot. One of the first ones we got. I kind of forgot what it did. Can be imbued with sentiment of love or joy. Okay, so she wanted the owl. Here, have the owl. Carved wood totem associated with the night, bears crescent shape, imparts a feeling of joy. So she gets a happy love totem. The elk is clay, not wood. Oh, right. Hang on. Unfortunately, I have some bad news to share. Jack Hungerford has not responded well to the Dryanthem tea. If anything, it appears to have sunk deeper into the trance. I daren't try anything else in case we make things worse. Ooh. Dux, this is in direct response to your tiebreaker tea. We should have fingered him. We should have fingered him instead of offered him some tea. Civil's right. I know, I'm blaming you for your blind choice. Alright, symbol on the purple stone box, you say. That is that symbol. Let's look up that symbol. It's Dux's fault. Okay, symbol. Thunder. The symbol is thunder. And the purple gems just generally mean containment. So it is a box of thunder. Great. Cool. Okay. Thanks, lady. It's a boombox. Ha 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 ha. Is that really the kerning on that? Oh, okay, alright, fine, be that way. It's a boombox. Nice. Okay. Pet the kitty. Ring the bell. See, I feel like this choice, I'm going to go back to the obscurity of some of these clues. I feel like this choice was a 50-50. She wanted me to give her something to her sister that would offer her peace. Now, I probably misinterpreted it. I think she said something along the lines of, I want to give her something to let her know she's loved. And I probably was still stuck on the idea that she was still troubled by her father's death. Oh God, I have not been listening to this lady at all. So I was trying to solve her inner demons with this item, and she was just trying to give her some love with this item. So I probably misinterpreted that, but there's a lot of double meanings and multiple possible matches to a lot of the clues going on in this game. Okay, let's read her novel. Those silly gods at Claggarth Hall silly sods, wouldn't let me in to look around. It seems I've upset the little lord who lives there at some point in the past. Allegedly, I refused to perform an exorcism on his haunted house. He didn't like my suggestions that it might be the local kids playing pranks on him because he's a mean old git. I'm not so easily put off, though. Do you have a tenebrine cloak I could use this evening? I've got some snooping to do. No, actually, I don't think I do have a tenebrine cloak, actually. And if I do, I don't know which one it is. So the tenebrine cloak was the one, I believe, that had a single stone set in bronze. Which does not help at all, because I have multiple of those. But let's see what we got. So this is not that, because this is gold, not bronze. A single stone set in bronze. We have this one, bronze, stone. We have this one, bronze, stone. We have this one, bronze, stone. We have this one. No, that's gold and stone. Never mind. We have these that are all just multiple stones. This one is the sunstone, so we've already identified that one. This one is unidentified. All of these symbols are related to weather. And this is a green gemstone, so probably not. Stone of earth and nature. Okay, so this is very much a nature pendant. So this is the one that's left. Turquoise. Does turquoise mean what I hope it means? Stone of water. Okay, stone of water, but it is a Dradic. And Dradic is... I wish this had a return to front. Dradic is of the earth, so that's not very helpful either. Cool. Yeah, Noctic stone would make sense. Onyx would make sense. Something black and dark, perhaps? But that's iron, that is not bronze. This is iron, and also already identified. And this is the sunstone. Because this is the one that's warmer than expected. We have not gotten into the locked cabinet yet. But there also doesn't appear to be a bronze object with a single stone in it. So probably not in here anyway. Orange, pink, black, gold. So let's start back at the beginning here. So Diurnic, Wixic, Wixic. Which ones are Noctic? Diurnal or Noctic. So Onyxes are Noctic. Black Striated, Stone of Night and of Darkness. Some who fear it and some who are seduced by it. But I don't have anything that has an onyx stone in it other than the bat. But it's not bronze. And we've already identified this one because it's related to sound. We've already identified that one, given it to someone for a different purpose. We have this one, but that's also not bronze. Huge black gemstone streaked with red. So this is probably a bloodstone. I don't think I have any clues telling me what that's actually about. This is bronze, but it doesn't have a gemstone. This one has a black stone, but it's not... It's gold, first off, and it's not a single stone in the setting. Covered behind the scales only has the witch's fingers and an unidentified monkey paw or something like that. Hey, thanks, Nylora. I try to keep relatively chill where possible. In fact, I could probably just leave those open because we've kind of used the scale to its extent at the moment. I don't think so, Sybil. But let's go through the gems again, just to cover our bases. So Amber is Sunstone, Fire and Light, Heat and Life. Purple, Amethyst is Containment. Aquamarine is of Water. Bloodstone is of Darkness and Dark Purposes. Iolite is Peace and Safety. Jade is Earth and Nature. Kyanite is Anchor between Body and Mind. Malachite is a Stone of Sight or Fourth Eye. Moonstone is Protection and Enveloping Night. Moonstone is in the same vein of what you're thinking, Sybil. Obsidian is Stone and Fire and Fury. Onyx is Night and Darkness. Topaz is Strength, and Vivianite is Death and Decay. The cat was not bronze, it is gold. But, you're right, it's got the right stone for it. So we have a mini conundrum. We have a cat that has the wrong metal but the right stone. We have a Joopy-Doopa hand that has the right bronze and the right description of bronze with a gemstone, but the gemstone itself doesn't seem to match the meaning. But it's the only one that I have left that is bronze with a single stone that isn't already identified for another purpose, except for this one. But this one's purpose seems to be very nature-oriented. Every single one of these symbols is a weather symbol. This is thunder, this was lightning, this was fog, snow, etc. So all of these are weather-related, and the center is earth or nature-related. So to me, this wouldn't be a cloak of shadows, as it were. It is bronze, though. It is bronze with a single gem. So this also fits the description. This one is bronze. It has a dark green gemstone. It has symbols on it. This one I have tentatively labeled as the Spirit Eye. Because the Spirit Eye had a description of... I think it had a description similar, bronze and a gem, but it mentioned opposing symbols. And this is the only one that I've got that has opposing symbols. These are like heat and cold or something like that. So I was tentatively labeling this one as the Spirit Eye. And the Malachite gem, I have already forgotten what its meaning is. Fourth Eye, Stone of Sight. Now, Fourth Eye, Stone of Sight, if we take the inverse of that, hidden with the cloak, so it's a possibility. It is. So I'm not going to rule it out, but it wouldn't be my first choice. It might be the only choice. It might be the only choice, but JJ Dex, I have explored as many clues as I'm aware of. We have opened up the secret based on these buttons here. We have opened up this doodad here. We don't know what this means yet, but it does things. We don't have a key for this yet that I'm aware of. I've been working on this. We have these little wooden blocks here. We have 3 of the 4 missing ones filled in. There's one here we're still missing, so I haven't found that yet. So I'm pretty sure that I have done all of the clues. The only clue or piece of paper that hasn't been checked off and in our little archive here is this clue regarding thaumic fields, which is more of like an instruction manual than a clue, and I don't have anything that resembles a thaumic detector yet. So yes, to your point, I think we have already covered all of my clues. And also, yes, I have finished Strange Horticulture first. I did that a couple months ago. So now we're doing this game since it just released. Yes, so let's review first Tenebrin Cloak. Upon activation, a Tenebrin Cloak can create a sphere of enshrouding darkness that will cloak all within its reach. A single stone set in bronze gives power to these totems. Now it does say totem, but not necessarily standing totem. I mean, when they say totem, they do typically mean totems. They do typically mean a standing object. So that would lean us more towards the kitty cat. And then if we look at the symbols, totem could mean anything, but they typically do refer to totem as a standing object. And then they tend to refer to pendant or a wearable as dangly bits. So they've been fairly good about that so far when they do reference it. So maybe that does lean us the other direction. You said we wanted to check these symbols again. So we've got circle with up and double cross, and we've got triangle pointy side down with pointy arrow down and double cross. Okay. So symbols, if I recall, those are heat, circle, line upward, double cross, and then cold, triangle with pointy side down, line down, double cross. So yes, heat and cold. And that's where I was led to the spirit eye. World, fear, death, doom, destruction, dismay. Draw their power from the opposing symbols inscribed upon them. That's all we got. So, in terms of this is the only one that I had that had opposing symbols on it. So this could be a very loose, tentative link, but it also, the gem and the hot and cold don't really feel fitting to the cloak in my mind. This one is gold with a silver ring and blue gems. This one we have tentatively labeled as the brain knife, gold, and iron with 3 gems. It's a single type of gem. I know, we're kind of reaching at this point. And again, peeking in here, this looks bronze, but it doesn't look like it has a gem. This looks bronze and wood, doesn't have a gem. This looks to be... Ooh, this might be my compass I'm looking for. This might be the one that was gonna lead me to places, but it also doesn't have a gem. This looks like a wood totem. This looks to be iron or stone. And this is just a creepy skull. So I kind of want to throw the cat at her. It's not bronze, but it has the right stone. And the moonstone, as a reminder to myself and others, is a stone of perception and enveloping night, which does match the theme of hiding, cloaked, etc. The only other one that really matches the theme is onyx, which is night and darkness. Bloodstone is more the theme of dark stone for dark purposes, which I guess could sort of thematically fit. I think of that more in terms of like bad rituals and demon summonings and shit like that, but maybe. I'm leaning towards kitty cat. I think I can only suffer 1 failure. So maybe we do kitty cat and hope for the best? We don't really have any solid fit for this, and I've been trying to figure out the cloak for a while now, because it's been mentioned multiple times. I cannot close shop early and make her go away. I don't even have a close shop option, and if I ding, she doesn't go away. I don't call the next customer. So we have 3 potentials. We have kitty cat, we have the hand, and then we have this thing. I mean, this is technically a potential because it's bronze with gem, even though the symbols don't really do a darn thing. The symbols on this one don't really match either. This is the only one that doesn't really have a symbol that says I'm wrong. And the gem just is earth, I think it was, but it's not horribly wrong. these ones feel horribly wrong. This one is all weather. This one is hot and cold. It feels wrong. What do you mean minigame grinding? How do we do minigame grinding to get more failures? Because I'm talking, when I say can't suffer more failures, I mean under my face we have this bar. And this bar, once it gets to red, is some sort of badness. Probably insanity, because that's what that symbol means. And each failure puts me up to the next rung. So the next failure will put me to here, and the failure after that would put me to insanity. There's a mini game if you fail. See, I've never actually gotten to insanity. So you may be right that if we got to insanity, there's a mini game. I've never actually done it. So, so maybe you're right. Maybe we can just fail, get to the insanity, do the mini game, and then try again. We might need to. We might just need to suffer it and find out. Blade makes a solid point. Between the cat and the hand is more appropriate because it is specifically bronze. So I will go with Blade logic. Hand. 'Tis not the hand. It was not the hand. Then I'm gonna go with kitty cat. 'Twas not the kitty cat. And we are now insane. Cool. Minigame time, apparently. So, between Strange Horticulture and Strange Antiquities, this is the first time I've actually failed enough to go insane, which is good that we have been able to solve all of the clues and the mysteries relatively well up until this point. So this is the first one where I feel like we've been truly and utterly stumped. Because we still don't know which one it is. We're just going to have to keep slapping stuff at the wall and see which one works. And I feel like they haven't given us enough correct clues yet to tell me what's right with true deductive logic. The fact that we have to slap stuff at the wall and see what works tells me that they have not given us enough clues. And we got enough brain power in chat here that we should have been able to figure it out if we had enough clues. Just saying. Yes, Sybil. It is possible it's an item I don't have yet. That being said, I ran into that situation once before in Strange Horticulture, where it was an item I didn't have yet, but that was specifically because I hadn't actually followed a clue yet. So I had a clue that I knew I needed to follow up on, and I just hadn't done it yet, and I didn't think about it until after I failed. In this case, we don't have any clues. We have unsolved puzzles, the clock and the locked area. But we don't have any clues to tell me how to solve the clock. Nothing tells me which orientation of the hands they need to be. Nothing tells me which phase of the moon they need to be. So it doesn't tell me what I need to do to solve that problem. I haven't tried to bring any items near the clock. So there's that. Okay, so we are attempting to solve this puzzle. And I don't think they've told me how to solve the puzzle yet. I could hit help, but I kind of want to try to figure it out without hitting help to learn how to solve the puzzle. Well, let's push the button. It feels like it's a Yahtzee situation. It feels Yahtzee-ish. Oh, now they're going to teach me how to do it. Okay, that's fair. Click a segment of the seal and bank the dice to break it. We have reached one's crossbones, so that is probably our failure ticker. Bank. Roll. Fuck. I don't have any stars. You know, Can I bank? I can bank. They're not really telling me what I'm attempting to accomplish with the banking, but I did it. I have won the dice game. I don't know how I won the dice game, but I won the dice game. Hooray! Great. Oh, the star is wild. That's how I won the dice game. Okay, that's fair. Hello, ma'am. Okay, yes, I get it. You want the tenebrine cloak. Okay, so we know it's not the kitty cat. We know it's not the hand. So that really leaves us with this one or this one as the only two unidentified bronze objects with a single stone in the middle. The mask is made of bone. Well, it's made of clay painted to look like bone with a death gem in the middle. And it's already identified. We've already used it for something. Yeah, it kind of sort of looks bronzy for sure. So, cool. Let's before we start slapping random things at it, what do we got? So we currently are on half moon. Half moon with clock ticking correctly. I don't have any information in any of my readings that has mentioned anything about moon phases or time. So I don't even know where to begin trying to solve the clock puzzle. If I pull it, the hands move to specific locations. The moon phase changes to the next available phase, and the clock stops ticking. Moon phase, next phase, clock hands move. That's it. So I don't have any information on what combination I'm even looking for to solve the problem. So we're full moon, clock phase. I honestly got nothing. I don't even know where to begin trying to make it do stuff. Okay. Yeah, the moon phase changes. With every pull, the moon phase changes, ticks through the available cycles. That was a click. That did something. And the hand goes freaky. But I don't know what that means. And it doesn't always do this. Sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't know what that indicates. It probably means something important. We're late for a very important date. Indeed. But I got nothing. Okay. Lady, do you want this? Is this the thing you want? It is not the thing you want. Okay. Do you want this? Nope, wrong button. Do you want that? That's not the thing. Okay. I have now tried all of the doodads that I have that even remotely resemble the description. At least the ones that have not already been identified as something else specifically. So, this one matches the description of bronze with gem, but it's already been identified as a different object. Same with this one, kind of bronze-ish with the gem, but already identified as something else. Kitty cat. Kitty cat. Squish that cat. I mean confirmed. So we have the sunstone here, which I really should remember to label these as something useful. The sunstone is the sun bond. Feels warm, so this one is checked, confirmed. The bat is checked and confirmed. This one's checked and confirmed. This one is checked. This one is the anvil of deafening. This is the one that actually muffles sounds in his presence. We have already checked and confirmed this one for a different purpose. This skull mask has been checked and confirmed for another purpose. This moonstone has. This one has been confirmed. Any of them with a question mark have not been confirmed. Any of them that I have labeled but have a question mark has not been confirmed. Gizmo, you cannot have my tea. No, leave it alone. You cannot. No, don't attack my tea bag. Mine. Yep. Gizmo is my little crazy kitty, my little monster. I am not allowed to feed him after midnight. He feeds himself after midnight, but I'm definitely not allowed to get him wet, because that's hazardous for my health. I've certainly tried. Okay. So, I'm going to reread the cloak. This is one where if I push the hint button, it's going to give me a stupid hint and it's just going to make me more mad. I promise. Because every time I have clicked that hint button so far, it has been the most useless of hints that has just made me more mad. Cloak. All we have for cloak information is a depiction of a person in a cloak, wrapped in shadows, standing in front of a lamp. Tenebrine Cloak. Upon activation, a Tenebrine Cloak can create a sphere of enshrouding darkness that will cloak all within its reach. Single stone set in bronze gives power to these totems. If I click bronze, Tenebrine Cloak, voice of Cernunnos. Great. If I click stone, we have multiple things that are labeled stone. That's fine, whatever. I have not gotten the plants to do anything. They don't appear to do anything. Right? The hints typically are a direct reference to what has already been described in the book. We can give the cat thing, and in fact, I've already given the cat thing earlier. Here, oh, missed. Here you go, kitty. Have it. The cat does that actually to anything you put in front of it. It will knock it all down. Here, cat, play with the creepy monkey paw. Okay, hint. I should consult my gemstone book to see if there's a suitable stone for this item. I mean, it's a better hint than we've gotten before. It doesn't help, but it's better than previous hints. The bust of a lady. Stone. Bronze. Pink gem. Have we been overlooking the bust of the lady the whole time because I was focusing on the stone bit? Thanks, guys. We got it. Yay. So, I was right about the totem part. Because I was reading that as totem, and I had a feeling that wasn't going to be a hangy thing. A pendant. But I was totally glossing over the existence of the lady. partly because I didn't really see that stone was there, and partly because I was focusing on the bulk of her object being made of stone and not the bronze piece, the bronze headpiece that had the correct stone inlaid in it. We got there eventually, with enough brains and chat going, but man, that felt much more obscure than it should have been. Totem has a gemstone set in bronze. The gemstone is moonstone, which is fair, because we had already identified moonstone as a possible useful stone. That is true. They mention the bronze and the stone giving it power. They don't mention that it could contain a whole bunch of other crap, basically. Okay. It does not look like real moonstone. It looks like... I know there is a moonstone that looks like moonstone, or looks like the one they're talking about, and I think it's labeled as a peach or a cream moonstone as I'm Googling, because moonstone does come in variants based on what impurities are in there and whatnot. But you're right, it doesn't look like the traditional moonstone, which is kind of like a luminous, pearlescent kind of deal. Oh, you guys were reading. I haven't even read yet. Saint Cedric's Thunder. Saint Cedric's Thunder is used to store the power of a single thunderclap. Alchemists have been trying to harness this power for centuries, and there are rumors that some have indeed successfully used it to transmute base metals into gold. They are placed on tops of mountains to charge them during storms. Gemstones can be used to prevent the charge from waning over time. So this is indeed the boombox, for sure. What did I just do? I pushed to something and it caused problems. I pushed to something and it caused a clankety clatter. But now there's a kitty back there biting me every time I try to peek. Alright. So we're gonna keep it labeled as boombox, because that's the only appropriate name for it. Oh hey, yeah, you're right. My green colored room matches the outside in the middle. Yeah. Good night, Civil. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for lending us your brain. You know, now that we call more attention to the center, I have questions. We're supposedly at a static location. This is a building. This is a room. We are in a room in a building. It doesn't move, right? Like that's generally how buildings work. They don't move. However, my view outside this window changes daily. And I didn't really piece that together. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's foggy, whatever. That's how weather works. But there have been more than a few times where there's a different tree or branch or something in front of this window that shouldn't be there. Are we in a Howl's Moving Castle or similar? Is that what's going on here? Hi. What are you doing, kitty? What are you doing, kitty? Hey, don't bite. No, don't bite. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Silly kitty. He's being weird. Suddenly he's gone full skitsy on me. It's true. The room does... Oh. Ah. does move. I think that's attempting to give us a perspective. A perspective change, like based on what angle we're looking out the window. But I wasn't interpreting it as that. I was interpreting it as the window's changing. But no, you're right. I'm dumb. This is fine. I just don't understand how perspective works sometimes. Fair enough. Alright. So, where are we at time-wise? Oh, we're good. We got another little bit left. I'm not dumb. I'm just weird. Alright. So we still have the spinny clock situation going on. I don't know what's going on with that. Hang on. Time box. Do you do anything when I time? Okay, so that's the one that breaks it. And the one that breaks it is waxing moon, I think? Waning moon? Whichever. Crescent of some variety. Croissant. Box does not do anything. So box is not time related. Does the croissant moon mean anything? Does it do anything? Seal, object made from silver with a diurnal field. You. Just slapping some stuff at it to see what it's made of. Because we don't have a field detector. So I don't really have a specific idea. That's iron even. I don't have anything else made of silver that I'm aware of. You might be made of silver. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Okay, that's fair. So we still have a mystery about the clock. Something clock related. Something it's doing. When it gets to this orientation, it starts going wacky. Not enough info to go on, I don't think. And then we have this situation down here with the box that probably has something in it related to time. And then we have this clue that is a partial clue at best, relating to a field detector that we don't have yet. So I feel like this one can't progress until we do more stuff. In fairness, I have not been trying multiple items on the cage gate. I have not been trying to unlock it with everything we've got. Because it felt kind of unnecessary to keep trying every single one of them without some sort of hint as to what should work there. So I have not been trying them. Okay. Pat the kitty. Ring the bell. I bumped into Eli at the station yesterday before he left for Oxford. His train was late, so we had a brief chat, and he suddenly remembered something he wanted to tell you. I told him I'd pass on the message. Okay. Okay. In other news, I've got a little something for you, if you're interested. It's gonna cost you, but it's worth it. A map of the catacombs. Very rare. Worth a lot to someone in your line of work, I imagine. New map, new location. All I'm asking for in return is a Valent. Did I have a Valent? identified yet. I don't have a Valant identified. Okay. I don't have a Valant identified yet. Holes equal size and spacing, used by the adventurers to help them find their way. A curious pulse can be felt where its power concentrates. Now, I don't know exactly what that means. However, we do have things with holes, but none of them have any feelings to them. The Valant description says the holes are equal size and spacing. And all three of these items have holes of equal size and spacing. This one we're pretty positive is the brain knife based on the gem identification. Either of these could potentially be it. I would lean on this one a little bit more. We have pale yellow, dark green, and black. Let's see if any of those match up with like finding or identification or whatever. So we got malachite is fourth eye, stone of sight. That's in line. Fire and fury. This might not be the right black stone. Night and darkness. So pale yellow is a stone of strength. The black stones don't really work. You swear you meant to leave. Floating rock would make sense. They are equal size and space. Nothing to remark. Rough and pitted, great. Stone, great. Forgot about the floating rock with the holes. I am still mad at the floating rock, by the way. I'm still mad at the floating rock. I'm mad at the floating rock and the bird. Because the clue behind this is a stone that provides levitation, or rather, it's a totem that provides levitation. This is an actual, honest to God, levitating rock, and yet this is not the one related to levitation. I'm mad at this one. The bird is the one related to levitation. Perception. Stone. Vibrates with energy. Is this the one? Is that actually our Valant? Pulse can be feel where its power constant. That's our Valant. Take your levitating thing that is levitating and get out of my store. Valant. Yay! Good catch, Ducks. I didn't actually see that change of description at the top. Evenly spaced holes, able to feel the energy concentrating in its tip. Cool. I can't even remember if I'm spelling levitating right. It's good enough of a description, though. Definitely levitating. Cool. So we got the Valant, and we've got the catacombs. Oh no. Oh no. We get to go grave robbing. Neat. So this brings up questions, or rather lack of memory, because we have gotten several dates provided to us in the past. that I don't remember because I didn't know that I was supposed to be taking notes of the dates that were being provided. So one of them was King what's his dude who was afraid of being poisoned, who got stabbed in like 1203 or something like that. So I don't know if any other dates we're supposed to be paying attention to, or if those are even ones that are supposed to be providing clues. But I feel like all those dates we've been provided should have been ones we've taken notes of. A little late, but it's fine. Happy Spooktober indeed, JJ. That's part of the reason I'm playing this game, easing my way into Spooktober. We do have other games planned for spooky season. I have, like 20 or 30 on the list that I wanted to do this season. A couple multiplayers, but mostly single-player spooky story horror games. I really want to get to Still Wakes the Deep. That's been on my to-do list, pretty high on the list. I also have Killer Frequency and another one related to frequencies or killers or something like that had a similar name to it. I am doing this one. I wanted to finish Static Dread, the Lighthouse game, and then we have 2 other spooky Lighthouse themed games to get to. Many spooky games. We have a lot of anomaly games. We have a lot of object detection games like Observation Duty that are kind of on the spookier side of things. So yeah, plenty to do. We can still read all the conversations. The only old conversations and notes that I'm aware of are in here with these named individuals. I don't know how to find conversations from people who don't make this list. Do you know how to do that, JJ? Because we got the old notes in the archive. None of those have dates on them, though. It could be that we don't need to talk to them for sure. Could be that their conversations were purely for fluff purposes and not for important information purposes. Oh, we did get this note, but it's already checked, which means we've already done whatever it is. I keep forgetting to mention, it would be helpful for you to read Dr. Robertson's booklet on curses. You'll find it in the cupboard hidden in the counter. Yes, that's why it's checked, because we already did it. Okay, so you can just go up here, that's fine. Good. Okay, catacombs, you can go down here in our little collection of things. We have 1832 catacombs, 1868 Undermere, and no date on Gleeston Castle, unless it's in here somewhere. I don't see a date. It's fair. It's fine, I don't need that. Okay. That's good. Do we have any that we should look at off the bat? And we can obviously pick random ones, that's not a problem. But my sanity for the day is low. Sanity for the day is low. So we probably shouldn't go clicking around randomly. I don't think I've gotten any hints yet of what I should look at. Good suggestions. I have already played a good chunk of Kentucky Route Zero on my own time. However, I don't think I got very far, so it may be worth revisiting at some point. Oxenfree is absolutely a good call. However, I've already watched an entire playthrough. So I don't know if I would want to play it on my own. Definitely a good game, and some very interesting themes and a little bit of a spooky eeriness to it for sure. But I've already watched it all before I even thought I'd be streaming it. So good idea though. I don't have any clues on what I should click, so I'm just gonna leave it. It's fine. We'll get there eventually. You are not helpful. You are not helpful. Pat the kitty. Ring the bell. Hi, Bonnie. How you doing? I feel like I'm going crazy here. I know who's behind this madness. All these people with the pitch black eyes. But nobody's listening to me. I've seen it happen before. Well, 7 years ago, my father died the same way. Ah. Well, since nobody will listen, I'm going to take care of it myself. A Corvin's might, please, and I'll be on my way. Ah. Right. So we have another choice to make. Oxenfree has a sequel. Ooh, I was not aware of that. We have a choice to make. We were asked by her sister to not give her anything dangerous. We were asked by her sister to not give her anything dangerous and to not get her in trouble, basically. However, she might actually be the clue to solving this black eye mystery. So if we don't help her, are we dooming the town and or the black-eyed individuals to their destruction? Typically not a big fan of point-and-click games. I would probably consider one if it had an interesting enough theme, perhaps, as like a one-off. But yeah, typically not. I think primarily because they tend to be obscure things to click, like things that you wouldn't ever be able to find. You're literally hunting and pecking. And B, they tend to be very odd, unexpected combinations of like which items you should use to solve which puzzles. So you end up just trying every combination until the end of time, trying to figure out what you're supposed to do next. I feel like I've heard of Rusty Lake. No, Ducks. Her dad did not survive. So her dad is dead. The sister came by, and can we review sister? Sister is this lady. So this is Francesca, and what she said was, as if I didn't have enough on my plate right now, my sister Bonnie has been acting strange lately. She never got over the death of our father, so he is dead. She's always blamed Mr. Potter for his role in it, and now with all this happening, she's got it in her head that he's behind it somehow. I'm worried if she's going to do something stupid. If she comes in here, whatever you do, do not give her anything dangerous. And then this is where we had to give her the keepsake to let her know she is loved. And then she went on to say he didn't respond well to the treatment we tried earlier. Yes. So whatever we give her is going to end up going to Mr. Potter, the relic hunter. Now he's been an upstanding dude. But I don't know specifically how he may have actually had a hand in the death. He's helped me out. He's had a bad eye. Ooh, wait a second. Bad eye. In our nightly dreams, I'm going to call them, we had a relic hunter, or rather, someone who found a relic, who had damage to his eye as part of his situation going on, as we're learning about it. So that might be Mr. Potter. And it might be Mr. Potter, who was indeed responsible for the death of their father, as we're learning. So we might not have all the information yet, but it's leaning towards this is the guy that's in our dreams who started off on horseback with a bad eye and a sliced brain, going back trying to save his own life after having delved too deep and unearthing an artifact that he should not have unearthed. So this might be our dude. And this might be the dude responsible for all this bullshit. Send a link, iSucks. I'll take a look at it. Okay. So he hasn't said anything untoward. He's been relatively helpful. He's the one who gave us the catacomb map. Intelligent, affable, heroic. These are words that Barton Potter would use to describe himself. Irresponsible, impulsive, and foolhardy are some of the more tasteful terms that those who have dealt with him might use. One thing is not in dispute. He knows how to track down objects, and he certainly knows their worth. He is no coward, and he bears the scars to prove it. He is one of few who have ventured into the depths of the catacombs and lived to tell the tale. The tale he tells does, at the slightest, provocation. That I did not read that correctly, but whatever. He tells his story all the time. Okay, so my suspicion is that the dream that we have is related to his past finding of a hazardous artifact that went horribly wrong, narrowly escaped with his life, damaged his eye in the process, and he may actually, in fact, be responsible for the death of Francesca Robertson, and we don't have Bonnie in here. She's not a named, labeled character, but Francesca and Bonnie Robertson. Growing up, Francesca's father was her hero. When he died suddenly and tragically in a mysterious incident, nobody seemed able or willing to give her the answers she demanded, and she grew tired of being fed the same stories that she knew could not be true. As she entered adulthood, she learned how to find things out for herself, and what she learned opened her mind to a world she hadn't known existed, a world of occult maladies and dark articles. She learned about Tormund's paralysis, Hobbs' fear, and the Sapphire Curse. And she learned that these maladies could be cured. Okay, great. So her father died in mysterious circumstances that are still unknown to this day, and she has been spending her life trying to solve various mysterious maladies. Her sister feels that Mr. Potter is responsible for the death. Now our choice is whether we help her get her revenge. Oh, good luck, have fun, Ducks. Good luck, have fun. You'll probably have to catch up on the VOD later. Which one did we determine was Gray's Grace? I know I determined one of these was Gray's Grace. But I don't remember which. This one. This one was Gray's Grace because it shared the symbol with the Shadow's Keep. Okay. So Gray's Grace is the one that we're supposed to give her if we don't want her going out and getting herself killed and or killing someone else. Goodbye. Bye, Docs. And the Corbin's Might, I don't think we've identified yet. Let's see. Bird. Eagle's Gift, Assassin's Tool, makes use of Wixic power, so we'd have to look up Wixic. Gift came to her from a source, turn the tide of battle, Bloody Queen. Okay. So which one's Wixick? Wixick was of the body, individual. And which gemstone was Wixick? Bloodstone. This one. Eagle's Talon, Bloodstone, Wixick. Okay, so this is Corvin's Might. Oops. And the symbol, I'm gonna pick the wrong symbol because I don't remember which of these bajillions of symbols is the correct one. I'm gonna go with that one. But this is most likely our Corvin's Might. The question is, do we give her the tool to fight and or attack the person who may have been responsible for her father's death? Or do we send her down the more peaceful route of Grey's Grace, which is described as dispels melancholy? Now, right. Makes her feel less sad. I would probably lean towards letting her move past her father's death. Her sister moved past her father's death in the form of learning how to cure people. Yes, Blade. So this is the other lady's sister, who feels that another guy is responsible for her father's death. So the other lady, being a doctor, has kind of devoted her life to solving mysterious ailments after her father died to a mysterious ailment. This lady has just harbored resentment and grief. So we have the option of giving her her tools of revenge against whoever she feels deserves it, or give her something so she don't feel sad anymore. Yeah. And the other lady did say, please, for the love of God, don't give her something dangerous. So I think we should go with a gentle, peaceful route and let her get over her father's death. And maybe she can move on with her life and make something of it. Good. Good luck, feel better, lady. Spirit Vault, also known as a fetid chamber, is a receptacle used to store a wandering shroud. The interior is lined with a paste made from sulfur, hence the nickname. They are not considered dangerous, since shrouds tend to be benign, but on occasion they do not take kindly to being restrained. A faint vibration of the receptacle can be felt when a shroud is held within. Interesting. So smells of sulfur and vibrates if it's filled. Okay. I think I remember we had a sulfurous smelling object. Don't insult me, thaumaturge. This isn't some depression that can be cured with your little trinkets. She's not happy with my choice. I will get a hold of a Corvin's Might. Okay. Okay. So I chose not to give in and let her deal her revenge. She may break in at night and steal it, but I will not be the one to have given it to her. Let's see. You can be that one. You can be that one. And you can be... I don't have a simple happy smiley face. Cures melancholy. Crying smiley face. As a loose interpretation of that symbol. There we go. Okay. So, we did not give her her Corvin's Might. She's probably gonna steal it. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. So we're done for the day. As his mind roiled in confusion, he watched through his remaining good eye as his partner lunged towards the satchel that contained the casket. To his horror, he saw that his partner's eyes were black. Ah, okay. So this is kind of a confirmation of what we were theorizing earlier. Not about who, necessarily. I still suspect Mr. Potter is our man in question here. But what we have confirmed is that a person with a damaged eye, probably Mr. Potter, was responsible for delving some sort of tomb, finding something he should not have found. It got released or escaped. He slashed apart his mind to try to prevent from being infected by whatever it was, but his partner was not so lucky and got the black eye syndrome. So his partner, very possibly, is the father of the two ladies, because she feels that he was responsible. Now, we don't have any information linking Mr. Potter to the father, other than the lady saying she was responsible for his death. We only have, I think, the faintest hint that the father died to the black eyes. I don't think they really straight up said it. Oh, no, she did say it. When she came to asking for the Corvid's might, she had said that her father died to the black eyes, that she'd seen this malady before and it was her father. So we do have confirmation of that. So it's looking like this story that's playing out in our dreams at night is the story of Mr. Potter and the two sisters' father, who were tomb raiding, catacomb diving, found something they shouldn't, got themselves into trouble. The father did not make it. He got the black eye disease. And Mr. Potter, through his panic, ingenuity, having the right tools available, managed to save himself just barely and got out of there, but was responsible for the death. Well, tangentially responsible for the death. They were probably both taking part in the tomb raiding. But yeah, I think we're piecing together the story. I think this is good. Great. A short, chubby, penile-looking object. Great. It's probably a catacomb, honestly, because we just got access to that. This looks to be the one. No. Okay. I tried. It looked like it was the right shape. Still looks like the right shape. Any others? That one also kind of looks like the right shape. Yes. That one. That's the one. I squeeze through a partially collapsed passageway and emerge into a small chamber. Glinting in the flickering torchlight, I catch sight of a pendant draped across an old gravestone. Okay. Neat. Party. Love it. You go up there with the rest. No, you go over here. Cool. Okay, so we're still flickering. We're still spinning. This is fine. Moon cycle has not changed, so once this is locked into place, don't know what it means still. We're finding things out. Okay, I think that'll have to be it for tonight. It is late enough. I should probably go to bed, but we have made it. I think we probably got through a little bit less of the game this time around. Probably due to lots of chit-chatting. But we have made progress nonetheless. We have made our first failure and had to solve the puzzle to save our own sanity. It's great. We have solved some otherwise confusing puzzles or clues. We have many items named, but many items still yet to be named. Many clues yet to do, and many mysteries yet to solve. So we're still going. I suspect we're a little bit more than halfway through the game. I think we just hit the halfway point with the night story as well. So we're getting there. Sanity Yahtzee. Exactly. JJ, thanks for hanging out. Blade, you as well. Civil's already gone, but Civil, you too. Dux is already gone, you too. Isux, thanks for hanging out. Anyone else who is lurking out there, appreciate y'all being there. Tomorrow, I don't have a specific game plan, so maybe we'll do a vote whether we continue this one or start a new game or continue the Lighthouse game. We'll do a vote in Discord. Let's do that, so I don't have to think. Yeah, okay. So thank y'all for coming. I will see y'all next time.